Swiggity swoogity. Check out that fox booty. I don't know what she is. She just kind of looks foxy. So now it's time to post everything everywhere.
I need to start my girl's
Oh, okay. Somebody responded. Hey! Because I was like, please don't tell me YouTube's doing a thing where they're like, oh, now, you know, because you're not using our live control room, we're just not gonna have you pop up on anyone's feed. Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey!
Or what will always be my favorite, Nani?
No, guys. My favorite is what's up?
What's up?
What's up? Yo, Quartzy, pick up the phone.
I'm typing, Rennie. I'm busy. You pick up the phone.
Okay.
I'll pick up the phone.
Boom, ching. What's up?
God, you're adorable.
No,
No, you.
you.
I am sick. I am not cute. You are cute.
You are cute.
That is.
You shush. You dum dum.
I'm not a dum dum.
You are when you say shit like that because you are cute.
You're cuter.
No, you.
No, you.
By the way, if you haven't noticed, in the chat with me is the lovely Sith Gem and the adorable Rennie.
Hello.
Hold on, I gotta lower the volume on my phone. I don't want it catching me playing Continuum Turbulence. Because I'm following along with Quartzy.
Boop.
Okay. Oop, there it is. I gotta make my.
Nani?
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 Oh, now I get to add Sithu.
Oh my god, yes!
Because Sithu has.
You don't know how
Twitter now, we can
liberating
add
that
him.
is to finally be able to @
Oh.
Sithu.
Yeah, I have a Twitter now at last. At SithGem.
You can follow
it.
him and see
I
his
post
wonderful
some-
memes.
I post anime ladies and anime boys.
Also just being an overall really cool dude.
Thank you. I also post memes occasionally.
Post some dank memes, the good shit. You can also go to his YouTube channel.
Whoa! Sapo, thank you for the 50 Canadian dollars.
Thank
Hello, just your local Sapo giving away money.
you.
Hello.
Actually, Rennie, I want you to read it because
Oh,
it's Sapo,
yes.
so use your Sapo voice.
Hold on, I gotta get in the voice. Hello! Your local Sapu giving away money!
Oh, that was perfect. Oh, you're wonderful.
Hey guys, if you want to donate and I can say stuff as long as it's safe for work, I mean, you can
Oh,
always
same.
do that.
Same.
I'm home alone right now. I get to fucking scream.
Hell yeah. I can also say things in my voice, though I am ill, so I may sound a bit strange.
You get a sick 45.
Get a sick. I have parapluie. Is finally getting to me. The effects are finally starting to affect me.
It's mod 345 and
Oh, it's
top mod.
yeah. Hey, fitting to the event, you know.
Oh my god! Oh, that's true! Holy
The
shit.
links.
They all connect now.
By the way, well, actually, it's been a long time since we've had a stream. We usually spend the first 10 minutes just waiting for everybody to get in, so it's only been about 4 minutes, so.
Rhodes Island.
This will give me a good opportunity to point out a few things. Number one, I actually now have a new software that I use to mirror my phone to my PC. It is called PhonePaw. F-O-N-E-P-A-W. It is actually way better than Reflector. number one, it runs Arknights actually really well. And number two, no more demon noises.
Woo!
Reflector was giving us a habit, especially lately, of producing these weird screeches every so often. So there's none of that coming from Phone Paw, which is great. There might be a bit of lag here and there, but that's just because it usually comes from a lot of things moving on screen all at once, especially when I'm streaming at the same time. But trust me, this will be a lot smoother at least than with Reflector. Reflector would periodically like jump and such, or even lag the audio, but not the case of Phone Paw. It just kind of maybe slows down a bit, but it doesn't actually... Uh-oh. Please don't tell me I'm gonna have echo on my stream. Okay. I was really worried there for a second. I heard somebody echo me, and I was like, shit!
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I'm finally getting the ability back to talk properly after all day not being able to talk right. But anyway, so, basically Phone Paw is just better. I've tried many other, different, mirroring services in the interim between the last Arknight stream and now, and Phone Paw is definitely the best mirror that I've found so far. And it's, funny enough, one of the cheapest, because there were a lot that I tried that were way more expensive, but my test was always, can they stream Arknights? If they can't stream Arknights, and it's not because, oh, I'm gonna be doing a ton of Arknight streams now. No, it's because Arknights, for some reason, is way harder on Reflector to run than Girls Frontline even was. So I'm like, to me that says probably the other services are going to be similar. There's just something about Arknights that's just harder to run, I guess, or whatever. So the smoother the service could run Arknights, the better it was. And Phone Paw knocked it out of the park. So Girls Frontline might act a bit differently, but so far it's been pretty good. What else? Oh, also, YouTube recently announced that they will no longer, at a certain point, be using the Creator Studio Classic anymore. That's fine, except for one feature, and that is I do not like the live control room on YouTube. It says it's streamlined. That's a lie, at least in my experience. It is actually more, like, meticulous and strange to me than the classic live stream studio is that we're currently using right now. So basically I figured, you know what, that's just a push for me to say it's about time to move to Twitch. So what we're going to be doing is Continuum Turbulence. We're going to be running the entire adventure through that on YouTube, the classic version of YouTube's live streaming service. But after that point, I'm probably going to be looking to moving streams to Twitch. So there's a lot more reasons than just this whole recent announcement by YouTube. There's a lot more reasons than that. But yeah, so I figured I'd point that out. I'm not even like miserable about it, because honestly, I've been wanting to do that for a while. I even see like other creators I usually follow saying, yeah, they're moving their streams to Twitch as well. So I'm just like, yeah, it was just a matter of time, basically, before that started happening. Which, I honestly, if it's working out for them, it should work out for us. So...
Also, the possibility for emotes and such.
Emotes,
would be
the
available.
alerts, all sorts of cool stuff in the future, so... So basically, by the time, like, Isomer rolls around, or, like, any other big event, either in, like, Arknights or GFL, or anything else rolls around, we should be ready to go on Twitch to stream on there from now on, so.
Honestly, I wish there was like a type of like online little box where people could write, hey, make an emote of this, so we could see like what is like the most like requested character.
Honestly, we that'd be a good idea to actually like
Try to find.
poll people, be like, what emotes would you like from like Quartz's Twitch or something like that, you know.
I'm just trying to find like
I do have a Twitch channel, I just haven't used it for streaming purposes. By the way, one last thing I want to check. Also, hi Nina, hi Spartan. Sorry, I was also not looking at the chat much, only because I didn't want to screw up my words. I was doing good. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, shoot.
You were talking about. What were you talking about?
Right?
I just thought about Nina, and I was like, Nina.
I know, right? Nina just took up all of my brain.
Oh man.
Which is not a bad thing, that's for sure. But oh, my volume. I just wanted to ask, how's my volume compared to Sith's and Rennie's? It should be okay.
Let me get a little closer to my mic.
Ooh, ASMR stream.
Or like, how is it compared to the game?
Make sure I'm on
Who
mic.
is adding me right now?
Who's pinging you?
Somebody is pinging me right now. They're pinging me in the art dump. Why are they pinging me in the art dump? Oh my goodness, Nomtob is back. Is that how you say his name?
Show us.
Yeah, non.
He's back!
Ah,
Or she. I don't actually know what their
he?
gender is.
They made a row that's spitting like a laser.
My god. Okay, let me show this on screen real quick. Let me just make sure I can see what...
He's dying.
Okay.
Oh
This is beautiful.
I love
Look at this.
He's dying tonight.
You're back! My god, I gotta make you a mod just so everybody knows who you are.
Same.
Oh my god, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love this person's art.
It's been a long time.
They make so many good memes. They make so cute memes too.
I have saved like all of their stream artwork up to
Same.
this point.
I save like everything. I have like a folder of fan art.
Oh, KMS
Yeah,
Rune is asking me to say Rhodes Island on stream. So this is for you. Rhodes Island.
Oh fuck.
Oh my ovaries.
That's for you, KMS Rune.
Why you gotta bring us all down with you? Oh god.
Yep, they got it.
My dick.
I'm gonna say the R word!
Rhodes Island.
Rhodes Island.
So anyway, it's now been 12 minutes. I have my guide. I think everything that needs to be said has been said so far. So, okay. Oh, one last thing. This is very important because this is something we've discussed heavily, and that is, I know some people are going to be disappointed by this, and I do find it ironic that the first event where you get actual, like, diverging paths based on your choices is the first event that we're probably going to skip the story. This isn't necessarily because, like, we're sitting here like, we don't like the story. No, it's because we realized the story takes up a gigantic chunk of the streams. Like, as fun as it can be to voice act for them, we have been told, like, I know what happens in the events, but I haven't actually read, like, the words coming out of the characters' mouths verbatim, right? So I've basically been given, like, summaries of what happens up to this point. And so what I've been told is that there's so much dialogue in not only this event, but like every future event, we would basically just be reading visual novels to you guys with like the difference between how much combat there'd actually be on my end versus how much we'd be reading things to you. So I was just like, as much as we enjoyed, you know, talking about the story or like reading it out to you in funny voices and stuff like that. We had a lot of fun doing that. At the same time, it's like, with how much there's going to be shoved in our faces, I want to actually, you know, play the game and not tire us out so much that we end up, like, getting upset, you know? Again, not upset because of the story, but because of how much, like, how tired we get from reading everything out loud. So, but again, this is something we've discussed heavily. And honestly, like, I hope that doesn't disappoint you guys too much. If there's any point in the story, and don't say all of it, but if there's any point in the story that you guys would like us to specifically point out, like, and be like, alright, we're not gonna skip this, then say so when we get there. But yeah, this isn't for like, oh, because we don't like the story. It's like, no, it's because live on stream, it would be gratuitous for us to read it out to you guys. Both, not just for you, but for us as well. So, because we're people too, we're not robots, unfortunately. So
We do play them, though.
we do play them, yep. Well, except me.
Well,
I play the Who Man.
You play somebody cold and heartless enough to be one, though.
Definitely.
Mm.
Alrighty, so let's jump into this.
Mm.
Also, I have made a suggestion box, so I will be posting it in chat. Here you go, everyone. You just go to this link, and you can just write a suggestion for an emote.
Oh, first dialogue sequence takes like 15 minutes at minimum.
It does.
Ugh.
It does. I sat there reading it in bed when the event dropped, and I was like...
I want to point out, though, just for those curious, that doesn't mean that we personally, like, in our free time won't go back and read the story. It's just to say, live on stream, it just take way too much time, honestly. So...
Yeah, usually I'll go back and read them if I missed anything. Or I go look up, like, a summary just in case I don't understand things.
Oh, and another thing is that I know some people are going to be like, well, why don't you just read it to yourself and while, like, the others talk, and then maybe point out stuff in the story as it's happening. But, like, again, problem is, even from our, like, discussions, they sometimes get so gratuitous that we end up talking for hours and not actually playing the game. So even if we're not reading the story out loud to you, there's been points where we've just talked about something that happens in the story for like an hour without actually progressing. So I'm also trying to prevent that as well, because this is a big event, and I know the next event's gonna be a big one, unless it's the DJ Max event, but otherwise, like, you know, the next several events are gonna be large. So, like, we got a lot to play through. So...
I'm kind of just waiting until you get to the later stuff because I already went through this first node. So, woo, woo, woo.
I am seeing, like, something pop up, like an event that people are referring to, not to skip.
Oh yeah, they're saying don't skip the kill Scarecrow part. So
Let us know when we get there, if we do.
Wow, this is really big brained. I just have to wait for Thompson to get over there, I guess. Boop.
Don't worry, she'll get there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel accomplished. And trust me, guys, it's not like I particularly enjoy skipping over the story. It's more just like I said, it's all about time. And while you could make arguments, you know, against doing this, like I said, it's not like we're not going to go back and read it ourselves. And at the same time, it's like, it's just exhausting, you know? They not to mention, that also doesn't seem to account for the fact that most of the dialogue is, like, boring military jargon. If you enjoy that, that's fine. But from our perspective, it's like, this is a sit. So...
Oh, the boys arrived.
Oh?
My boy.
Ooh, your boy.
Oh, dat boy!
Hello, dear. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, Matt.
Say hello.
Welcome. I think my friend, Skips might be here. I don't know if he joined in. So I sent him the link, and he's like, oh man,
hold on.
I'll hop in and
I
support
actually have to
you
get my
guys.
people back. I forgot they're still in
I was
logistics.
like, oh.
Oh,
Oh, I'll
I
just
forgot
take
that
those
you
two.
had that Negev skin.
Yep.
She looks so pretty.
She looks great.
How dare you?
What?
Look, Matt! I am no such thing.
Wait. Where did
Oh, Sith isn't boring.
He's not boring.
In fact, he's the opposite of boring.
Don't tease him.
Sith
so
is one of the
much.
greatest people I've ever met. I'm not even kidding. I've said that publicly.
You have, and I appreciate it when you do. It's really sweet. You're one of the best people I've ever met.
Aww.
And so are you, Rennie. And so is Matt, if you wouldn't call me boring.
Pretty sure he's just teasing. I've been
By the way, if you're wondering, I noticed, like, no one's ever really talked about this, but I'm gonna point it out anyway. If you're wondering, wait, haven't you completed, like, through chapter 10? I literally only don't do it because I don't want to have blazed through everything the game has to offer me. That's actually why. Like, I do the same thing in Arknights, where, like, I'll find out what happens in the story, but I don't actually like to blaze through the actual gameplay right away, because I like to know that there's something else left for me to do. I hate the feeling when you're playing a gacha game. Like, I've had this happen with FGO, where I'll sit there and be like, I've literally done everything. There's nothing for me to do, and I hate it, because I'm just logging in every day doing fucking nothing, and I hate it. I hate that feeling. It feels so empty, and I don't want to feel empty with games I actually like. So, also, Son of Seraph, Suref, thank you for the $10 donation. Context for Kill Scarecrow part. It's usually the farming map for crates that people joked that we kept repeating the same story over and over to the interrog. Oh, okay. I get it. I know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, if you've played FGO and you know what that drought is like, I feel bad for you. Because I've been there and I can sympathize. It's the worst feeling when you have FGO and you've done everything. And you're just waiting for the next event because you're like, I even have leveled all the servants I want to level. There's nothing for me to do. I'm just logging in like a fucking puppet. I don't want that to happen with Girls Frontline or Arknights because I like these games.
What map are you on right now?
I am currently on the first map where we actually get to do stuff. Also, I have to point this out right away, otherwise I will forget. Continuum Turbulence has one of my favorite OSTs in the entire game's history. The OST, specifically in Continuum Turbulence, is amazing. The first map track alone gives me fucking goosebumps.
It's so good.
Girls Frontline has really great music.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up, I need to check my ham. I think she ate all her food already.
Go feed her more. And then eat her yourself. Oh my goodness.
Rennie is very cute with her pets.
Yeah.
I like when she speaks Spanish to them, it's cute.
Yeah.
I am the video game boy. I am the one who wins.
Yes, you are. We are here to give you support. We have pom-poms. We'll cheer you on.
Gokigenyo.
Go Kigeyo. She is at a distance.
Maester, yes, I'm already aware of the stuff that happens in Continuum Turbulence, so... The only thing I haven't checked is what the characters say exactly. That's the only thing I don't know. So, like, when we were talking about, like, Singularity back during, like, the Singularity streams, I admitted, like, while I knew what was gonna happen, like, all the stuff, all the major events that happened, I didn't know sometimes what the characters said exactly. That's why when I criticized Ange's behavior, it was because I didn't know the exact words coming out of her mouths in the exact pattern it would happen. So, like, when she's assigning M4A1 as, like, the leader of the group, I'm like, I don't even have to have anything against M4A1 to say that that's a bad idea, you know? So... See, like, stuff like that, the little stuff, I'm like, yeah, I might not be privy to that. But oftentimes the big events, I already know everything that happens. All the major feels moments, I already know of them. So, like I said, I'm only missing out on exact dialogue, and I can go back and reread that.
Alright, Quincy, I am following your movements.
Well, let's see. This one looks a bit different. Safe house. Oh! Wait, no. Okay. I thought I screwed up again. Well, not again, but in a different way, I guess. Boop.
That's true, man.
Oh, Quartz, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, right. Okay, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
You should have said something.
I was
Not you, Sith. You're fine. But Rinny should have said something.
I was distracted by the chat.
I wanted to speak with chat as well.
No.
Hold up, I will post again the suggestion
There it
box
is.
for emotes.
Ooh.
Yo,
Oh, right.
kids, don't say you're being held hostage by me. That's only at school.
Hmm.
Hold on. I don't know why it looks like that. You might just have to take it.
It might just be best to maybe reflect OBS on Discord. And if it's showing the noise back, just mute it.
Hmm.
That is a blessing that Discord allows you to just like lower the volume on the stream.
Yeah, you still haven't made that Grigory Nikolai fanfiction that I told you about a month ago, you fool! I have given you ample time to provide the content that I have so desperately and repeatedly asked for, and time after time you refuse me.
By the way, that pause gave us ample time to absorb the fucking music. Can you guys hear the game? I hope you guys can hear the game, otherwise I'll turn it up.
Unfortunately, we cannot.
Boy,
no,
I'll ask the chat.
I can
I'm
hear
not asking
it.
you guys, I'm asking the chat. Can you guys hear the game?
Look, it's not like I can.
It's not like I hear anything.
Audio is fine. I heard one person say they can't. I need more people to say. So I'm assuming when you say yes, that means you can hear it. Okay. I'll turn it up like a little bit. There, that's like up 2. Because now, with Phone Paw, the volume's actually affected by my phone, not by the computer settings. So,
God, this is such a good track. Where did you move?
now you can hear it? Alright, cool.
Wait, is that
I
Star?
moved to the bottom left, Rin.
I haven't played with Star in a while.
Also, I'm sorry if I cough periodically. I am, for those of you who joined late, I am still a bit sick. Oh my!
Whoa! Saber Metal Panzer, you've been saving up, haven't you? Thank you for the $69 donation. Hi, how you doing, Courts? Also, hi to Sith and Rinny.
Hello. Thank you for the donation. 69. Ooh la la. Oh, excuse me. I finished eating the sub of whey, and it was very yummy.
No, none of us have the coronavirus yet.
To my knowledge. Hopefully I don't.
Hopefully, hug.
By the way, I've noticed if you see anything weird come from the game, it's actually not the mirror this time, like it was with Reflector. No, it's actually coming from my game. So if there's like weird glitchy bits, it's because of Girls Frontline itself, not from Phone Paw, which is great. I'd rather it be that way. I think it's cool. That's why I don't get rid of the skill activation scene that happens, the real quick thing, where it flashes to the character. Like, I think that's fucking cool.
Oh no!
You
What?
died.
Oh yeah, I saw Discord, like, freak the fuck out. So yeah, sorry, darlings. I'm probably not going to be able to share my screen with you. You're going to have to watch the actual live stream.
That's alright, love.
We can sacrifice that in order to be with you.
No, Rin Rin.
Now come give me your hand. Give me.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it disabled, I mean, so be it. I'm just saying, like, yeah, personally, I think it's cool. That's why I don't get rid of it, but...
Same. No, Quartzy doesn't have a harem.
Ew, no.
No, I wasn't saying what the fuck to that. I was pressed a weird button.
I'm like following you, at least on the stream, so I can actually complete this event.
Okay, it tells me to just end the turn. Okay.
On the 2?
I'm just following the guide right now. So whenever I just end the turn in a weird place, it's because the guide told me to. I could just kill everyone here, but... This isn't Quartz's harem, this is Sith's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
We're
that's
all Sith as bitches. That kind of low-key rhymes. Sith as bitches.
bitches.
I swear to God, I better not be the little sister. Because last time I did one of those like little quiz thingies when it tells you, oh, what's your role in a harem? I got little sister and I felt disgusted.
Oh, ew.
You know, I did another one and it was like, you're the best friend, and I was like, I'll take that any day over being the little sister. That shit's nasty.
Oh, I forgot to kill one. Or no, actually.
Are you not supposed to kill her?
No, on the guide, the enemy just disappears. As if to say they're supposed to move up to you.
She just fucking...
She's just like, no, brah. I'm scared. I ain't moving up there.
I leave. Goodbye.
I mean, that's fine. I can still complete this. That's not a problem. Bro, I ain't fighting them.
Look at them. They're destroying everything. I will now dramatically read out some of the suggestions we have gotten for emotes on Twitch.
Yeah.
I will also repost the link for anyone else that would like to make a suggestion. So, when Ro gets reincarnated into a box, Smug Coup, Sop 2 Mod Jr., Rose screaming,
All of these are
Sop
good
Mod
choices
Jr.
right now.
Writing something, Sop Jr. writing Ro as a diner gate happy face.
That one might be a little too busy.
When Kalina says, kept you waiting, huh?
Heh.
Say it in big, OSSS, question mark.
Or alternatively, I have a suggestion. Sapu when she says, "What? I think it's Scarecrow. Scarecrow, I've come to bargain."
I come to bargain! She's just like with the fedora or something. I come to bargain, or like a cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more suggestion. Dinergate Row and the red eye blow for I'm not cute.
Oh, Lia Love, thank you for the $5 donation. What's your favorite girls' frontline event? I think we can all answer this. Who wants to go
The event
first?
that gave me thunder. Let's just say
Valhalla.
I actually hated farming for it.
You know what? I didn't get any of the girls that I wanted, but just playing through Valhalla again was cute.
That's true. I got Dorothy out of it, which was a win. Teak girls, woo! We'll rise up like an army from the air vents because we're so small we fit in there.
What about you?
Quartzy.
My favorite event... This is complicated because... While I am not a big fan of dry political dialogue and military talk and whatever else, which is ironic because I play Girls Frontline, but that's an argument for another day. I have reasons for what the things I like about Girls Frontline versus my opinion on the story. But ultimately, so like, as far as gameplay, Isomer and like Shared Connection and such, like, those are really cool. Like, those two in particular are really cool gameplay-wise. But, and have some of, like, the coolest gameplay scenes in the entire game. But if I had to say in terms of the entire package, based on story and gameplay,
Oh, actually, can I change my answer?
yeah, go ahead.
Ooh.
Deep dive.
Ooh, actually, I might have to change my answer also to deep dive. Just a little bit.
Ha! I'm gonna say
That was really.
Cube Plus.
Oh, Cube
Specifically
Plus.
Cube
Also
Plus,
good.
not Cube Plus. So like with the combo package, basically, the upgrade, the second story involved, you know, because Cube on its own is pretty solid, but like when you have Cube Plus in there too, M4A1's story in Cube Plus is one of my favorite stories in the entire game. Seriously.
That's fair. That is very fair. Q Plus was fucking.
And gameplay-wise, I
My
really
choice.
liked bullying Ouroboros. That's just
Oh,
me.
yeah.
It's not my favorite gameplay in the entire game, but as far as a combo package, I have to pick the #1 combo package, which is Cube Plus. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody wants me to elaborate, I will freely elaborate on why that is, why I think Cube Plus is my favorite out of all the events, and that includes even up to Polarized Light. Since I'm here, what's in my mail? Oh, nice.
I'm so sorry. I have like magnum bullets stuck in my head still. That's such a
Oh,
good
white
game.
flags too, absolutely. Yeah, I will absolutely make it very clear once I have established my Twitch streaming page.
Present. Oh.
I will tweet it out, I'll put it on Discord, etc. By the way, links to which you can find in the doobly-doo, including our Patreon, which has now succeeded in reaching its $900 goal. So thank you guys so much. I can now pay the voice actors reasonably for their work. So
And
thank
now
you.
you all get to fund my stationery addiction. What is stationery, you ask? Well, it's a basic necessity of human life. It is a want and a need at the same time, which would be equal to sticky notes, pens, and highlighters that will fill my backpack until it explodes. Along with every notebook.
Now I gotta get rid of my equipment.
Oof. Oh, Quartz.
Yes.
While he was leaving, Matthew gave you a professional business-like handshake.
Oh, well, I accept that professional? I sound like I'm from
Professional.
Minnesota. Professional business.
Business like handshake. Here you go, Matt. I make it all wet and sloppy just for you.
Oh no. Don't make anything wet and sloppy for my boyfriend.
Oh my, he's gonna steal your bullet.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no!
If
Alright,
anything,
so-
it's just gonna steal me from him.
Not if I have anything to say about that in about 24 days. Eventually. Okay, so we have more suggestions. Kalina screaming. Or no, my bad. It's not Kalina. Klin screaming.
Oh, nice.
Hi, my name's Quinn. I'm #1.
Okay, I like this one, but I think it should be somebody else, and you'll know
I'm
when
still
I
not
say
used to that bottom button.
GRG11 with a JoJo face. I instead think it should be MDR with a JoJo face.
I am okay with either or, honestly.
Same.
In fact, you could have MDR and G11 as Jotaro and Dio.
Oh god!
There you go.
Have them as two separate emotes later down the line. Because the thing is, when you're first starting out Twitch, you only get 3 emote slots.
Mhm.
Then you have to get to the partnered phase, if I remember correctly, and that's whenever you get more emotes. Because
Right.
when you're just affiliated, you only have the 3. And it's really hard to get a partner. But another one is SOPMOD holding a Sangbus eye. This is a.
Getting freaky.
I'm gonna have to scream for this one. ITW!
Beautiful.
A big boss from Metal Gear Solid cosplaying as M16. M16 drinking. Quartz mad. Saint Quartz glowing red with steam coming out. Quartz facepalm. Quartz doing a facepalm with a white glove. Quartz love or AN94 love. Quartz or AN94 holding a heart, because that's a very iconic
Aww.
the character holding a heart. Stop dog. I could advocate for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that people like the SOP dog in 8.5.
I loved making that SOP dog. I was like, you know what? Now I'm putting a SOP dog, and I showed it to Quartz, and he was like, yo,
Ship
we're
it.
doing this.
There were some people in the comments section who said they would seriously buy that, and I'm like, you know what? I would too.
404 merchandise.
It's just SOP dog and nothing else.
You get SOP dog posters, you get SOP dog pins, SOP dog thermos cups, SOP dog plushies, and lanyards. And acrylic charms. You get a whole array of like merchandise of just SOP dog. Yes. Maybe someday. Maybe we'll get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Hey,
Raid Shadow Legends.
Listen, Raid, I'm a filthy slut. I need to fuel my stationary.
Yo, if Raid Shadow we've talked about this. If keep sounding Minnesotan, if that's how you even pronounce that, say it, whatever. If I talked about this, if Raid Shadow Legends gave us that $7,400 price tag out of the blue, I wouldn't know what to do. I'm not even saying that would ever happen. I'm just saying, like, I would be puzzled. I'd be like, do I do this? Do I sell my soul for Raid Shadow Legends?
I would.
You just have G11 talking about Raid Shadow Legends.
You know what's still around in the year 2062? Raid Shadow Legends!
Listen, you can quote half of what I say on stream, because half of the stuff I say on stream I might not agree with later. That's about life. Life is, if I've learned anything from Nier Automata besides crying about robots dying and cannibalism of robots, is that life is constant embarrassment. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Nier Automata and how it is good life lessons. Also, it has a lot of porn.
Oh yes, I've seen.
God.
The only thing I've really been able to take away from Nier Automata, from what all of you have said, and from what Matt has said from playing, is that 9S gets paid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not literally, but metaphorically, he gets paid.
Oh no, I was saying literally.
Oh, I mean, 2B would totally do that. He's not a top. And they are both appropriate age, so they can be together.
They're also robots.
That too. Well, I mean, like, mentally appropriately aged. It's not like an M99 situation where M99 actually acts like a child.
Yeah.
Then that'd be weird. But, yeah, 9S mentally... He kind of acts like a teenager, but the same thing goes with 2B. She's not supposed to be that older than him. They're both, like, again, they act, mature. I ship them like FedEx. I want them to kiss. They deserve happiness, and that's all I want for them, okay? A2 gets to be happy too. She wants to be alone, whatever. 9S. 2B deserve it. God, I remember cosplaying 2B, and I felt so pretty also. I was like, God, if only I had a 9S. For once, I probably get to be taller than
This
love
work
it.
for the survival of humanity is sponsored by Raid Shadow. This hot new mobile game is the best 3D graphics to distract you from the horrors of war.
Oh my god, that was beautiful, Sid.
45, what are you doing right now?
Playing Raid Shadow Legends. The
Oh
hot
man,
new
you're
mobile
playing...
game that has the best 3D graphics to distract you from the horrors of war.
Yo man, you wanna add me into your guild?
Hell yeah, then we can play Raid Shadow
Yeah man, Raid Shadow Legends!
Distract you from the horrors of war together.
And then we can run away and be gay.
Oh yeah, then we can get married.
Yes. Oh god. Oh. Fuck. I still don't have an HOC made, and that makes me very upset. I don't know how to do it. Send help. Maybe if I played more of Raid Shadow
Legends.
Oh my god.
Plot are the leaders of Sangbus.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's who's been sponsoring them. How do you think they got all that money? Make all those dolls.
Oh my god. Raid Shadow Legends. Hold up, do we have any more suggestions? Oh, there's one more. Macho man with a fishing pole riding a sun with sunglasses on it and says, I'm fishing for a fight, brother. Not really, but make it a fast HK 416 jumping for joy. What? This is so odd. Alright, so I will post suggestion box again. I keep accidentally pressing inspect, not paste.
Well, it's a good thing I brought my most accurate group to be my dummy echelon. Bang, 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 bang.
When do we get to start farming for girls?
I wish I knew. I live for Quartz copying the songs with his voice. Aw, thank you.
Yeah.
I just do it out of reflex, honestly. I like singing.
Quartzy's adorable when he sings, so it's just enjoyable. It's heartwarming.
This
And
bass goes hard, man. I love it.
It makes me want to just eat Quartz.
I'm not even being, like, silly or whatever. I listen to this actual, I listen to this track all the time.
Quartzy.
Yes, Rennie? No. 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 Not now. Not in front of people. Rennie, you're being cringe. We're gonna lose subscriber.
No,
What
she's
the-
being epic. We're gonna gain subscribers.
I can't believe you just called me cringe, bruh. You're gonna lose subscribers. What are you, cringe? Unsubs. Dislike. God fucking damn it. IDW Danya. Why are you existing? I'm actually, like, so close to getting my SOPMOD fully mod 3, and it makes me upset that she's not there yet.
Grind harder.
I need to, honestly. It's just the memory fragments. That is it. I also need to, like, enhance a bunch of people.
So I just started playing GFL because of SPAS 12. Any recommendation in general?
Give all your rations to her.
There's a lot I could know. Honestly, AR-SMG teams are pretty much the best formation in the game because they're the thing that's gonna kill all the bosses at a certain point in the game, and especially if you get them high enough level, they don't even care about armor that much. They also have pretty good accuracy. So basically, if I had any recommendation, it would be boost your ARs and SMGs first, and yeah, not even your pistols, because your pistols only become really good when they've reached like their 3rd, 4th, 5th dummy links. And getting multiple copies from the workshop is much harder than like any other type of girl. So when you're just starting out, I've heard other people say this too, so it's not even like I'm tooting this alone. ARs and SMGs are your best friends because they eat the least and they're the easiest to get into later dummy links, and they're just going to be super useful later anyway. So MGs and SGs end up being really good for sweeping the masses, but not the bosses. So, but they're also hella expensive, so I wouldn't recommend raising them first. Where am I going?
Someone's quoting my MDR line. Hold up, I gotta get
Take
a
note
voice.
of where the enemies are
Fuck.
positioned.
Got some rare CDs on sale, stranger. In need of some healing.
No,
God.
I'm in need of some emotional healing, though.
Well, too
I
fucking
watched
bad.
my
I ain't good
friends
at
just
that.
die.
Now shut up and eat this disc.
Uh-huh.
Ah! Just shoving the disc in her mouth. Nugget walks in. What the fuck?
I think there was okay, so they say that one of the routes is purple and the other is red, but it's actually one of the routes is green and the other is red. So like I'm guessing that was the green route is actually what they're referencing as the purple route. So if there's any units left in the top right corner, the roundabout way. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I could kill them all anyway, but oh, I'm sorry. I called it the workshop because of Arc Knights. It's actually construction, but it's the same thing.
Oh wait, hold up. Saber Metal Panzer donated $6.90, and he says, "Vibe check." Thank you for
Yo,
the
I'm
donation.
vibe checking like all of Sangvis right now. They got nothing on me.
They out of here. Goodbye.
Make sure they move away from home. Okay, I've got one free space, so. Boop.
My friend said this is cute.
How deep am I into Arc Knights? Pretty deep, though I like to at least kind of take my time. I'm not trying to, like, I focus on it, I focus a bit of time on it every single day, so that I can use up all of my sanity. But I'm not sitting here, like, using, like, Originium over and over again to fuel myself. No, I save that stuff, because I don't want to spend money. So.
That's what my friend does. I mean, I think he stopped doing that. But he did that very early and he was super duper excited.
Okay, they're just telling me just to sweep. Yeah, you got it.
Sweep, sweep.
Sweep, sweep,
that
sweep.
Are you
All
on
I'm
a volcano, by the way? I just noticed.
We might as well be, but I'm pretty sure it's just a Sangvis base.
Here's what you do. Step 1, get the broom. Now step 2, you beat Architect over the head with the broom. Problem solved. Or well, in this case, it's technically Scarecrow. You know what? Someone literally could just attach a broom to her arm and it would be just as fine. Just shove it in there.
Sanity is still the best name for AP I've ever heard. Absolutely, I agree.
So it's 4 cannon negative would remove MDR's fun bags and put them in her shoes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Saber Metal Panzer gives another $6.90 donation. Clean it all, it must be cleaned. Clean it all, it must be cleaned. Clean it all, it must be cleaned. Clean it all, it must be cleaned.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a reference to something, but it sounds creepy.
it just reminds me of Popo's rules.
Never forget Popo's first rule of
First
training.
rule of training. Don't break Popo stuff. Don't break Popo stuff.
Popo's sixth rule of training!
It's a Bionicle reference, actually, 2002. Listen, I was actually a fetus at that time, and I did not see Bionicles till later. God, I remember, hey, fun fact, I used to own, like, 2 of the, like, action figure Lego Bionicle things. I don't know what the exact word would be with them, but I owned, like, 2 of them, because I stole them from my brother. And, I used to, like,
Hey, you know
throw
what? Screw
those
it.
around my house, and when we
Insufficient
had a
action
Christmas
points. Oh.
tree up, I
Okay,
would
okay.
like throw them into the Christmas tree, just for fun. I was Rambunctious child. This is why I was started. No one should have ever left me alone. Listen, I only ever stole once in my life, and that was a cookie from the store. I felt bad. I genuinely felt that after I did it, but my mom was like, it's fine, whatever. It was like those tiny, they're like these tiny little Mexican like cream cookies, like 2 cookie sandwich with like icing in the middle. Really good. It was like oatmeal if I remember correctly too. It's really small. It was like what, 99 cents. God, Bionicles were pretty fucking cool. Honestly, I low-key miss them. You know what I do miss, guys?
Oh my, what's this?
Beyblades.
I actually really fucking love Beyblade.
More lost stuff.
What's this?
The last day. Oh, there's also
It-
Farewell Scarecrow.
Using it because
Is this a split? I don't know if this is a split.
it might be at this point because the locks are showing up more.
Alright, I gotta play the last day then.
Alrighty.
Well, I mean like the old Beyblade and like actually doing tournaments. and stuff,
Beyblade, let it rip!
like, let it rip.
I remember in like grade school, like sometimes kids would just like bring in their fucking Beyblades and just like in the middle of class, like once class was almost done, would just like fucking just spin their shit.
Let it rip.
Let it
What?
rip!
They didn't have the arenas or anything, it was just on the floor, so we just watched, we gathered around them like, and stared at the Beyblades as they threw each other on the ground.
We do that. We at my Boys and Girls Club, we had the arenas and we had little tournaments. That Boys and Girls Club was pretty lit. Like during my youngin' days, it was very cool. Like the older kids would host like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
By the way,
Kids-
so I'm sorry to interrupt, but because we saw her name, I'm just going to point this out real quick. So, no matter what you think of the writing in this event, I think we can all agree it is absolutely ridiculous to see a character that looks like CX4 Storm does talking about like philosophical jargon relating to politics and dolls and whatever else. Like, is there any way, any moment in your life where you could actually take that seriously? Even if you were in front of her dying. I mean, at least you'd probably get a laugh out of it, which would be better than dying miserably.
That's fair.
Fair.
I can't look at CX form seriously. She has such a
She has a goofy face.
like Tokuro's. I'm pretty sure it's Tokuro's artist that designed her, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that completely yet. I'm gonna double check. I'm opening the wiki. Yes, it is Tokuro's artist. Honestly, I think that's like their weakest design out of everyone they've done.
That's why I know Rinny and maybe even a few others, we've talked about this way back when we were reading up on this event and the things that happened. We were like, you know, I bet you they wrote in CX4 Storm to say this, but they didn't know what she'd look like yet. So they got the art after and didn't say no. So they stuck with it, maybe because of timing or something, because Micah Team is well known to act pretty funky with their money and their time. So, like, honestly, I would not be surprised if it turned out that CX4 Storm's design was, like, secondary. And they just kind of threw it in there because they're like, I guess we have to, or something like that.
I feel bad in that case because then, like, as somebody who does art and then eventually, like, for the characters I designed for the show, yes, I technically own them. At the same time, I don't. I get the rights to say that, yeah, I designed this character, but once they are written with what they say, it's out of my hand. And everything the creator says is technical to them. And anything I say will technically not be taken, like, as canon. They can get respected in a community if it wants to, but unless it's confirmed by the creator, in this case, course, then it's not canon. I would feel low-key sad if that was the case for the creator of CX4 Storm. They designed her thinking that, oh, she's just a cute girl, I want to make a cute thing. And then they look back on it and regret it because of how they characterize her. Because she might not get taken seriously now. Because they might think, oh, I could have actually made her more serious and less magical girly jokey type. Like how they designed Cause, who's one of their most recent characters here. I have small issues with their design, but overall, she's really, really good. And I think she's very, very cute and at the same time very serious. Which shows that this artist is very, very competent in their designing capabilities. So, I don't know, it just comes from aging, like how well does your art age and how well does the design use. Excuse me for my poor phrasing. It's just, I don't want to say that I'm speaking for the artist, I'm only theorizing off of my own experiences, because when it comes to designing a character, and at least from what I've known about how Micah handles it, like the very little I even know, because I've asked once when they were doing a Q&A how they even choose their artists, and Micah, or at least Intern Kun, responded saying that, yeah, we contact them. Like, they choose them. I do not know how the process goes. But from what it feels like, at the very least, they might just give them the gun and then they design around that, because some artists don't even design their girls to be very similar to the gun. Some do. So it's a very weird process. It's not like FGO, where from what we know about the behind the scenes for that, especially what happened with Aelina, TLDR, Nasu didn't like her first design and was able to criticize the artist very constructively, and now we have the Aelina that everyone loves today. That's it's designed very, very well compared to the first design that wasn't even bad, but doesn't reflect the character well. It's a lot more strict, but not so much that it's hand-holding. And I think that shows the difference between the direction of both games. And that's not to say, oh, all the designs of Girls Frontline are bad automatically because of that, because a lot of them are really fucking good. There's only a few that I've ever really seen that
yeah, we've talked about,
aren't
like,
the best.
on average, I think Sava's also said this, because we talked to him a lot about Girls Frontline. And he's even said, yeah, he pointed out, on average, he thinks there's way more good Girls Frontline designs than there are bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, we would agree with that, I think.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of the designs are really good, and I can understand why people would be like, yeah, I want to waifu this character specifically. Heck, even with CX4 Storm, I could see it. Personally, though...
The thing is, regardless of how you feel about her design, like, as in, like, yeah, I like that design, or, oh, I don't like that design, or whatever. Like, they used that design for this dialogue that they ended up giving her, where she contemplates, like, life and everything, and it's like,
Good.
couldn't you have picked anyone else, please? I just do not feel like, from a story perspective, this character should be used when you have hundreds of T-dolls to pull from. I don't know if they were going for, like, something, you know, like, oh no, that was the point, we wanted to show an absurdly cute girl finally contemplating life and stuff like that, but it just comes across as so jarring and silly.
Like, if I had to choose somebody from this artist, I would take Tokarev way seriouser.
I would, yes, absolutely, and serious is not a word, Rennie. I would take Tokarev way more seriously than I would CX4 Storm.
Oh, seriously. My bad. Listen, I'm an artist, not a worder. I cannot phrase. I can draw out my feelings. But yeah, excuse me if this sounds a little arrogant of me, but as somebody who really likes to study design and the mentality behind a lot of designs and their uses and such, I feel like CX4 Storm, she's not a bad design. She isn't personally my cup of tea, and if I'm looking at her, like, analyzing her in the way that she is written, it's very, very jarring, and I would say too much so, to the point where I feel like it would have been better if it was a different character. And that's not to bash anyone that likes CX4 Storm. You are allowed to like her.
That's not putting down the artist, that's not putting down the fans of the character, if there are any. It's if anything, we're just blaming Micah Team's ultimate decision on choosing that specific character. Why?
Yeah.
You know.
Because I like this artist. They're really, really competent. And I honestly even like the cute things they've been doing with Kaz and Tokarev, with the little nods to each other. It's very cute. I'm kind of just low-key confused by the decision and would like to know why Micah Team, or how the decision came up for her to be the one to say all the philosophical shit.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of like good designs in this game, though, like Slate is really nice.
Slate is very
yeah.
nice.
I also just realized that she has a Rubik's cube. I didn't
Yeah!
notice that
Her Rubik's Cube is so cute.
before. Also,
Honestly.
I'm looking. Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, you go ahead first.
I was looking through the index again just to like look through all the dolls, and I'm surprised I hadn't seen this one before. The Webley.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
she
she's
has a
from-
very pretty design.
She is so
gorgeous. Her like damage looks so poetic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She is done by AK or not
AA12
A12.
artist, Silverwing.
My bad. Yes, which is Lynn Plus's wife.
Oh.
She's a very, very competent artist. I really love this design she made. Like both AA12 and Webley are fucking beautiful on her. I wonder if we get a costume for Webley, what would it even be? How would she look? Because she's just really sad.
Rescue them. I know what I'm doing. Oh, it's cute! Aki and Ani get to be next to each other.
Aww.
Oh, I forgot to... Nah, I can do it later. They're not gonna fight. They're supposed to be a dummy echelon.
Honestly, one thing that would scare me to even try to do, I joked about this once, was, oh, hey, what if I do an art stream where I, like, give my own opinions on designs from Girls Frontline, and then I realized, oh yeah, I'd be starting a fucking waifu war on my Twitch, and I don't want to do that, because I'd have a better time just going through designs I like and explaining why I like them. Oh, excuse me for a bit?
Oh. Me, oh my. The chat brought up Python, and now I'm just thinking about her. I've loved her design since the moment I learned about her. She's so fucking pretty.
No, I can already tell, Marcellus, you're taking it too literally. Like, you're thinking that CX4... You're taking it from a literal perspective, like, CX4 Storm had to be here. We're talking about from a meta perspective, like, outside of the narrative, Micah chose for it to be CX4 Storm that would end up talking to Sop in that way. Why did they choose for it to be CX4 Storm? You're taking it as if, like, they're the universe... Like, you're taking it as if, like, the universe is, like... How do I word this? Like, it was destined to happen. Or, like, it was, like, it just had to be this way because, like, you're taking it as if, like, their world is real. And it just happened to be that way. But it's like... But no, this is a story that Micah's telling.
Hello.
And therefore, they could have easily chosen it to be any other doll. Because they're the ones writing the story. They're the ones choosing which character is going to appear where. That's how we're looking at it.
Oh, hi, Millen.
Oh, Millen's here?
Yeah, he's in the live chat.
Okay. Hi, Millen.
Yo, what up, Hammy? Honestly, I'd just love to talk about how Terron is a wonderful artist. If you do not know who Terron is, that is, I'm gonna make sure I'm pronouncing their, yeah, it's Terron. Not Terrace, which is Spaz's artist, Terron, who's Contender's artist, and along with Carcano Pink and Carcano Strawberry, which is the Carcano sisters. They
Look down.
are fucking lovely artists. They just create such beautiful characters. They honestly have this beautiful blend of filling their characters up with a lot of stuff, but at the same time not over designing them, which I find very, very fascinating. Because it's different from how I like to design characters. I usually keep them very minimalistic. I'm not the type to want to just fill them up with a lot of things. I get worried about crowding. And I tend to think about the very important details to get by first. But Taron is very, very competent with putting a lot on somebody and making it look very, very good. Oh, explain what you like about Slate, please. I'm curious. Well,
Shark teeth.
the shark teeth is very cute, along with the hoodie stuff she's got going on, where she's kind of got shark thing. Hold up, I'm gonna look at her design just so I can be able to like formulate. Not the shark hoodie, my bad. I was thinking about fucking UKM for a bit with the hoodie pet. Okay, she's got this like. Okay, you look at her and think that wouldn't work, but Imoko's got a really good way of actually making this like mesh work. The colors that she chose, like you go to her head first, and then you'll start looking down, like analyzing her because of how bright her shoes are. And I actually did something similar like this once, where if I've learned something throughout life, and this is just a basic fashion thing, you never want your shoes to completely match your outfit because then they'll blend right in. If you want shoes to stand out, you always do them very different. And Slate has a lot of shark thing going on, like on her shirt, it's like shark teeth. Her shoes have shark teeth on them, little mouths. She has very sharp teeth. She's just got shark stuff going on, and I think that's very, very cute on how it's handled. Even her damage is really cool. She just looks like a very cool character. Her concept art is also very, very fucking nice. Though I do question why she said she based her off a 15-year-old and the D to E cup, because as somebody who knows boobs, that is not D to E. That is at least C to D. At most C. But I'm not gonna get into that fully. It's just, how do I explain it? Because Taron's a little more easier to explain personally, because they've got a very specific way of coloring people, where Taron makes Contender a lot of purples and grays, which flesh out the purples on her, along with kind of just showing a color that represents like this elegance and royalty to her. While with Slate by Imoko, she's got like a mix of purples, blues, grays, which help flesh out the purples and the blues, and even the pink around her upper area. And the pinks are really just kept to her long coat, which helps bring out the coat actually, because it's got a lot of light grays. I personally think if she didn't put those there, that coat would just blend right in with the background. So it really accents it well. It also helps give her this delinquent S vibe.
Whoa! Thought I was gonna fall back in my
Her
chair
cape
for a
is
second.
really nice. I went right to her face when I saw her, and I started scanning her. Because usually that's what I do. I like
Scanning,
go up and down.
scanning,
Scanning.
deliberating,
Yes.
deliberating.
Delicious.
Also, just from a more small-brained perspective, because I know nothing of art, she just looks like the cool, like, tall girl in, like, the punk gang in a movie that would, like, show the newbie protagonist around, and I like that vibe.
Yeah. I will admit, someone did point this out, the posing is jarring. It kind of is. I can see that. I really like the pose, though. Even the perspective on the gun's a little odd, not gonna lie, but overall, I think the pose works to show how much fucking weirdo she is. Could have been something a little more, what's the word? Controlled, probably. Because even with the concept art, she's a lot more controlled than that. I actually like the process where she gets more colors on her over time, it helps her stand out a lot more.
Oh hey, Jamaican is complimenting KSVK.
Oh yeah, dude, KSVK is one of the best designs, in my opinion. I think KSVK, for a long time, was very underrated, and I'm very happy that she is getting a lot of attention now. Ooh, a 404 related question. Okay. Yo by Buster Himes. Yo at RinnyChanLP. I was curious about Sop Senior and what led you to create her. Me and Quartz at one point were discussing making a side episode about somebody in the cast of 404 Radio and who really needed some fleshing out. And it was actually between Negev, MDR, and SOPMOD. And we whittled it down onto SOPMOD and talking about how she eventually came onto who she is now. Because the game doesn't really elaborate much on how SOPMOD became a bloodthirsty killing machine, but also is still very cute and wholesome and loves her family, which is kind of jarring and very sad that they never really delve into it. You could always just go with the, oh, maybe she was just programmed that way, but I feel like that's the most boring thing to do. Because she's a very interesting character.
Oh, Jacob, thank you. I'm glad you think that way.
Oh, thank you!
Oh.
I'm actually, that really flatters me. Funny enough, there's a lot about SOP that I tried to depict as very similar to M4, because in our canon, SOPMOD is the very first one. It's hinted throughout the episode 8.5, and I wanted there to be something reminiscent in what we have later with M4, because she's just...
By the way, what Rennie's referencing is that in 404 Radio, the order of the AR team's creation is actually different than the order in the game.
Mm-hmm.
We did this not because we hated how the game did it or anything like that. We simply did it because we felt, especially for how the story was presented and just given the characters, this felt like another logical progression where M16, not created by Persica, already existed, but is modified by Persica to be this kind of older sister to the AR team. SOPMOD's then her first genuine creation. Basically, she kind of is a failure, but she works well, so she gets to stay. Then AR-15 is made because Persica wants to balance out the behavior of the team after what happened with SOPMOD. Then M4A1 is finished, because the magnum opus that M16 remarks on in 8.5 is in fact M4A1. So... Ro is the youngest child in this canon, but there is a reason for that. Trust us, we've come up with a lot for the AR team. Even if they're not the main characters in
Honestly,
this.
I'm not gonna lie. I really like drawing the AR team, personally. I really like drawing SOPMOD the most, if that's not obvious.
Also, I will mention a few things. Number one, we wanted to do a side episode for a while, but we whittled it down to SOPMOD because of the call we got from Intern-kun, saying that they wanted us to, Intern-kun, Micah team, etc., they wanted us to make another episode because of Continuum Turbulence's release. And so I had pointed out, I think the logical step is to do SOP. Basically, though, I should also point out, second, when it came to the writing of all this, pretty much all this is my idea. I'm not saying that because I'm, sitting here arrogant. I'm saying, Rennie came up with the design all by herself. I came up with all the writing and why Sop Senior is the way she is and all that jazz myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make that clear.
I mostly go off... I, at the time, had what Quartz described to me, what we wanted to do with the episode, and it was God, okay, this was really late at night. I get a lot of the good ideas either late at night or early in the morning, because that's how I later made Vincent I wouldn't call him my magnum opus, but he's my favorite character I've designed for the show. I love him. God. Oh, anyways, Get away from him. I cannot even talk that much about him yet.
But
Soon
like,
I will.
when Rennie talks about how she was inspired by M4's design to make SOP Senior's looks, yeah, that was all her. She's the one who came up with that idea, and I thought that was really clever, honestly.
That was a little bit before, because at that point it was like 10 at night. We were talking about the idea, like mulling over it, and I was like debating on what to do, and then I got my SOPMOD reference out and I started going through it, and I had an M4 on the side because I was like, yo, I want her to like resemble the like cinnamonness, I'm gonna say, like the very
cinnamon
wholesome,
qualities. You
the
can word it like
cinnamon
that.
qualities of
The cinnamon
M4,
bunness.
and kind of to hint at how Persica designs these dolls. So I was also looking at through like, well, if I'm Persica, how would I do this?
Basically, every doll that Persica makes in this timeline is a reaction to the last.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm happy to get to contribute to SOPMOD. And I had a lot of fun just designing SOPMOD Senior. Unfortunately, it's not like I can release a lot of concept arts because I only had that one. Because I had, I think, a few doodles in a sketchbook. I'd have to look through mine.
oh, this is an easy question. Buster Himes, we absolutely knew about everything in Nine's revealed Mod 3 backstory.
Yes.
When making Nine's past in 404 Radio. This was completely an active decision, not one made out of ignorance. In fact, you could even see Nine's design in episode 8's intro flashback is just ripped straight from that Mod 3 backstory.
Yeah, she just has a different hairstyle. Nico made the outfit.
In fact, specifically, Nico came up with the idea of, how about we give her a different haircut, though, to signify that, like, this is a different timeline altogether. But we keep the outfit to show, like, hey, guys, we did read that backstory, wink, wink. So,
yeah.
This is an active decision. This isn't just us being like, oh, we didn't know about that. You know.
We also, I think we've talked about this on stream before, but for many of the characters, we came up, like, with the main cast, like, Courts in specific, but, like, we all decided on, like, their backstories before these Mod 3s even came out. So, and there's foreshadowing for that in the earlier episodes that came out before that was happening, so, changing the course of the story to fit with canon would mess up, like, what has been set up.
It would be
in the story so
disastrous, honestly.
Yeah.
Because as much as I know there's some people who still kind of, like, argue against us changing anything from the canon, I think it would honestly be way worse to the fans we do have to change the course of our story, of our take of Girls Frontline, to fit with the game all of a sudden.
Especially when Micah's not even pressuring us to do that.
Oh no, Micah actually likes what we're doing, and that's the cool
Oh,
part.
yeah.
Is they're like, yeah, we want you to keep doing this and have your own take on this and whatever else.
It was actually, when we got the okay for the SOPMOD script, I was really happy, because I know me and Quartz were like sitting there like, what is
Yeah,
it? It's
that
like,
SOPMOD script, like, that was a big test to see, like, oh my god, will they actually... Like, I know they've never really criticized that much, but they have critiqued before, with some, like, terminology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, we were wondering, like, what are they gonna think of this script? Because this is, like kind of out there, man, for a SOPMOD backstory and stuff like that. Like, it's not, like, incredibly, like, off the rails, but it's definitely not something that we could see coming from the game itself. And they loved it. They're like, yeah, this is great. Punch it up, you know?
It was very sweet and, like, nice that they like, Intern Kun, honestly, is very sweet. He's been a very kind person.
I've never interacted with him personally, but I imagine him to be a small, about like 6-centimeter tall man in a hamster wheel,
Cute.
tweeting at all hours of the day, being paid in hamster pellets.
Aww.
No. They give him the good stuff, like that my ham row has. They give him sunflower seeds and walnuts.
Oh yes,
And
absolutely.
occasional carrots and broccoli.
Oh, by the way, I want to point out something also small, is that it's probably fairly well known that I've criticized the writing for M4 in the past, but I do find it really funny that, like, in 404 Radio, I actually want M4 to appear a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Wait, let's talk
I
about
criticize
wanting
her occasionally, like, especially, like, on stream if it's relevant, but, like, no, when it comes to 404 Radio, I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, I'm not even sitting there like, ooh, I want to change her so bad. No, I'm just like, it's the exact opposite. I just want her to show up more. That's it.
Like, we've been, God, like, episode 10, I know we want M4 to be around more. Because with the auditions and everything that was happening with that, we were like, fuck. Because the voice actress for M4, God, she did such a wonderful job.
She did a great job. You'll see in episode 10, M4 finally gets a major speaking appearance. I can't tell you any more than that, because that's major spoilers for the episode.
Yeah.
But, like, she gets a major speaking appearance, and bless Sandra's heart, she really likes being on this team. She always talks about how much she loves being a part of this team, and it's really nice. It's really heartwarming, and it's really motivating, too.
She's so sweet and positive and nice.
Yeah, like when she tweets about it, I was like, she was talking about getting like, oh my god, well, typecasted. I'm so happy that like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, because she was talking about how, especially like people of color, often get typecast even in voice acting. And she was like, and being black herself, she absolutely praises us. Funny enough, I didn't even know she was black when she auditioned. Like, I just listened to her voice and I'm like, that is M4. That is what she sounds like if she spoke in English.
She sounds so cute, and she's such a wonderful voice actress. Like when she's like, "Stop fighting," I wanted to cry. I was like, "Oh God, don't cry!" Like, God, we're not even talking about how well Winter voices. Oh my God.
Yo, so Winter is one of like. There's been a lot of great finds as far as 404 Radio's voice acting is concerned, but I would say one of the most, like, I cannot believe that we managed to get this voice for this character would be Winter as Persica.
Yeah.
I absolutely cannot believe that we managed to get Winter.
I love Winter just as a person and as a voice actress. She is a wonderful, wonderful human being.
She's funny.
Oh yeah, she is incredibly charming.
She's mommy.
She is mommy.
We all call her mom.
And she absolutely accepts it. In fact, the first time we called her Gap Moe, didn't she like squee?
Yes, she did.
She like muted. She had to mute for a second.
It was so wholesome.
It was adorable.
Hey, you should follow her on Twitter at what's her name?
Quick, look her up.
I will link it. You should also
because she's
follow
also a
Sandra.
musician, so she's her at name is her music handle.
Far from land. Or far lands.
You can just put. Can't you just put it in the chat? Just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna look it.
Not fast enough.
You're
Tick
not
tock,
fast
tick
enough.
tock, tick tock.
There we go. I got it. I'm also getting Sandra. Sandra also does really nice cosplays.
Oh yeah.
Her 2B is really fucking pretty. Just gotta cosplay 2B and automatic. Oh, hold up. I got
Yeah, they
a few
can
more
handle it.
questions. Why was AA12 in the photo?
Oh, that's right. I'm so happy we get to talk about the photo.
Time to talk about the photo.
Okay, so that photograph is incredibly important to 404 Radio because that is the photo of 416's old team before all the butterfly incident shit happened. The thing is that you need to take away from that scene is that that team was her group of friends. Like, she even, like, you could feel the heavy air quotes. But nonetheless, she was friends with these people back in the day before all this shit happened. And the group that went in to do the butterfly operation, that was a different group of people. So the thing is that that group, so it consists of, like, NTW, ZAS, AA-12, and Vector. They also figured it out, but they knew better than to say anything. They're like, I don't want bad things to happen, and it's not in my right to speak up about this, so I'm just gonna just sit my lip.
It is hinted in the side episode, since we get to see Vector and AA-12 hint about the interaction of 416 and all that jazz.
Right, basically,
Even that she misses her.
it's becoming significantly, like, more and more important, I've noticed, to watch the Memories of Griffin episode, because it's kind of not only does it reveal Nikolai for the first time, which is important for episode 8, but at the same time, it showcases a few other characters' mindsets a bit better, such as Negev's. We get big backstory stuff on Negev, and we get to see that how Vector and AA-12 are doing before this big reveal with the photograph. And so, like, AA-12 and even a bit on Vector's part are both, like, actively regretting everything that happened back with 416 being forced to leave and all that jazz. As well as, like, them not saying anything and whatever else. But they're coping, nonetheless. So, like, Vector, we've talked about this, like, Vector becomes, like, more cynical and pessimistic, whereas, like, AA-12 literally might as well be leaning on drugs to cope. You know.
Also, AA-12 misses 416. That is who she is hinting at in the side episode of Memories of Griffin.
Right.
I actually, that doodle of M6 or not M16, 416 that's in the window for the split second. That was a little doodle I did as a joke.
And I put it in there. I just have it fade in and fade out.
Could you fucking kept it in there?
Sometimes
so
I
many,
keep
like,
things in there. You know.
There's so many, like, cute doodles or, like, bloopers that we put in for, like, the voice, like,
Like the row your goddamn boat.
row your goddamn boat.
I didn't mean.
Ari, one of Ari's bloopers, the voice of UMP9, made it into the beginning of episode 8. Was that it? Where she's like...
Oh no, it was the side episode where she's like, pardon me a second, I have to cough. That was a blooper, and I kept it in there. Rinny even specifically made a face. I told Rinny, make a face for this.
I was like, I gotta put this in there. She's being wholesome. Honestly, Ari also is a very talented voice actress.
Another one that was just a blooper, but added in, was when M16 in 8.5 goes, ba-da-da-ba-da-ba. That was a blooper, and I put it in there.
Yeah, the voice of Super Sass is also the voice of M16. So, she did so wonderful. I love Jasmine. She's such a fucking meme. I pray for the day me and her get to voice Super Sass and M200 again. God, I'm just waiting for one of those scripts to pop up so I can be like, Potato Gang?
Potato Gang.
You can't see it, but I'm doing a man's.
Yeah, Gail, that was a blooper.
Ow.
You'd be surprised what actually is just a blooper, but I kept it, like, I keep it in there with the consent of the voice actor. But, like, but yeah, like, I keep it in not just for funnies, but I usually keep it in if it, like, if it even can add something. So, like, some people really, really, really liked that blooper for M16. Because they're like, oh, that's so M16, you know. And even we talked about it, Rinny and I talked about it, where we were like, you know what, that does fit M16 in this scene.
You guys will get Star at M4 soon.
Oh,
Don't worry.
I
You'll get
can't
it
say
soon.
much. I can't say much because I'd be giving away spoilers. But I can tell you, don't worry. We haven't forgotten about Star at all. So...
Ooh, can I do something very vague? Like, can I allude to the number of people that I voice in episode 10?
Yes, just the number.
I voice 5 people in episode.
He does! Oh my god, he does!
There is a reason, and it's a pretty good reason, but
And
we
it's
can't say
beautiful.
any more than that. It would be
Oh,
a
I get to voice
gigantic
somebody.
spoiler.
Do I get to say at least a hint of what I'm doing?
Yeah, as long as you don't say who it's for.
I just get to voice somebody new that's never been seen yet. That makes me happy. I get to add that under my belt. Oh god. If anything that makes me nervous is how I do the voice, but hopefully it gets taken well. I know everyone on the cast has said that I did really well for what it is.
You did.
I'm ready for the memes though. Like I would low-key encourage them after it, so I can say specifically what kind, because of where I'm from. But okay, so what was one of the other questions? Because I'm going a little higher up the chat, so I can go through these questions. Will 45 get her mechanical arm?
I cannot confirm or deny that. That's too far up. If it was like next episode or 2 episodes from now, I could say something on it, but I cannot confirm or deny. That's not to say it won't happen. What I'm saying is, if it does happen, I do not know how exactly it will happen, only because a script does not yet exist for that moment in time to happen. Once a script exists, I can confirm and deny things.
Yeah.
That's always my golden rule. We can say that we've planned things, but we cannot absolutely with any certainty even, like, say, like, yes, this will happen, or no, that'll happen, or that won't happen, or be like, or even give, like, the hints we're giving now. Like, because, like, the hints we're giving now for, like, episode 10, that script has been done for a while. So, of course, we can be like, yeah, we know what's gonna happen there, so we can hint at it, you know? But things that happen in Singularity, we just can't confirm or deny yet, only because that's still a bit far up the road.
Alright, so I just want to read this out. I cannot read your name, unfortunately, but this person has a Semiramis picture. I recognize them because it's a Russian name. Still love the Monica S dream sequence for M4. I really liked putting that together. God, it was my big flex on episode 6. So if you didn't know, because I've gotten better as an artist. Since episode 6. That was basically me trying to flex to be like, I can do creepy shit, guys. Yeah.
That M16's creepy.
Thank you. I love doing the creepy shit. Like, Quartz calls me and is like, yo, you get to do Monica-like shit. I'm like, sign me the fuck up. That's why I like drawing SOPMOD.
Yeah, a lot of people, while they were really taken aback, like in surprise by the Madoka-esque scene in episode 8, I did find that a lot of people on both the East and West really liked that scene.
Makes me very
They liked how
happy.
creepy it was.
I love Monica is like one of my biggest inspirations, especially with the multimedia use and the way it does a lot of its visual work and invokes a feeling of like uneasiness. So I've always tried to study it. So that's why I tried my best to make it look like a little theater, like a play that's happening in M4's mind. And this M16 is kind of just meant to shield her from all the stuff that's being put onto her. And then 9 kind of just being like, hey, what's up, my homie? What's going on here, home slice, bread slice?
Like, we've talked it over many times before episode 8 came out, and ultimately, like, I could say I'm really happy with the results, because we had molded over for a while, should it be 45 or 9 who saves M4? And
Yeah.
I'm honestly really happy that it was 9, because thinking about it being 45, there's so many more places it could have gone wrong. And I don't mean, like, as in, like, a writing perspective. I mean, if, just say from just a... If you were in that world of 404 Radio, and it was 45 going in instead of 9, I just feel like, in that particular instance, more things would have went wrong if it was 45 than 9. In other words, it had to be 9, ultimately. So, based on mostly, like, her personality and stuff like that.
Alright, so since you did mention how you had the choice on whose backstory you focus on, would there still be a chance to focus on Negev and MDR as well?
Oh, absolutely. I'll just say right off the bat, at this point, MDR and Negev are major supporting characters who will absolutely be appearing again many times. While that's mostly just planned, we have talked about it so many times, and given their appearances up till now, we can safely say at the very least, we know that they will be doing a lot more than what they've just been doing. So, it's definitely not out of the ballpark to suggest that, yeah, we'll be finding out more about them as characters and even their backstories. And yes, we actually at least started developing a backstory for MDR.
Oh yeah.
I think that's really
love
cool,
it.
honestly.
I don't want to talk too much on it. It would all be spoilers, but the day Quartz calls me up and is like, yo, MDR side episode, get in here, I'd be like, yo, let's go.
It's just 12 minutes of MDR and AEK making out.
It's them in their basement, like a top box.
Oh yeah, it's hot box. Waxing philosophical to each other.
And then they start making out around the end.
That's the only thing I want from 404 Radio. Just
Oh
have
yeah.
them fucking kiss.
Just have them kiss already. That's not to confirm that they are a ship, by the way. We joke about.
Yeah, we're just having
when
fun.
we say ship stuff, we
Oh,
joke
yeah.
about it. If it happens, it happens. But yeah.
Yeah.
One of the next questions.
Like we
is-
talked about, the golden rule is if it's in a script, then it's absolute. Like, then it's all ready to go, then it's gonna happen, blah blah blah, you know. It may change slightly, but ultimately what's gonna happen is generally gonna stay the same, so.
Somebody asked, oh, is it the VAs for the side characters already picked? I might have missed the memo. When we have auditions, yeah, that basically is to say, yeah, we're grabbing people for these characters, whether they be like supporting or like small role for now, and they're gonna come into a bigger picture later. Pretty much, if it's somebody that basically isn't going to be appearing often, has like literally one line, we might get somebody we already know to do it and call in a favor. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, my golden rule is, when it comes to audition, is do they say a lot of lines? If so, do an audition. Unless we absolutely know who we're gonna pick for that character already. Or, alternatively, if the character is supposed to be a surprise, we will not do an audition for them. We'll find somebody else within
Like,
our circle.
Like, the biggest one for that was, I think, Egoist. Because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he's such a spoilery character.
Mhm.
Like, we physically could not hold an audition for him without spoiling his appearance.
Right. Same thing goes for Shepard, who's part of that
Yes.
group. We
Yes.
couldn't do an audition for her either because of the same reason.
Oh god.
But also, alternatively, we do not typically do auditions for characters who only say, like, a couple lines.
Yeah.
And especially if we don't know when they'll be appearing next, and they only say a couple lines, absolutely, we just pick from kind of our inner circle at that point.
Like in episode 6, I originally voiced HS2000, who later was casted with somebody else, since I only said like a few lines.
Mhm.
I also did the voices of N950A, or Calico, and also CZ75, and along with Ribby dying. But that does not confirm me. Bless you.
Sorry.
Plus.
That does not confirm me as the voice actor for them, because if they are recasted, then yeah. I
Oh,
was
yeah, that's
literally
another
just
thing.
filling in.
Rennie brings up a good point, is that it is possible for characters to get recast. It has happened, as she just pointed out, like HS2000's a big example, or M16 we recast. We have our reasons, and I don't mean M16 was recast from Jasmine, I mean M16 was recast from Rex, that's what I mean.
Who is the
Nobody
voice
seemed to
actor.
notice that, which I guess is a good thing, technically.
Oh yeah.
But we have our reasons, and it's not usually because of, like, oh, we fought over it or something like. No, it's
No.
because of, like, usually technical reasons. So, like, in the case of HS2000, actually, that's a really good one to bring up. HS2000 said a lot more lines in the side episode, and we thought it'd be fitting to have somebody else voice them, simply because Rennie, even at that point, had voiced so many characters that we just felt more comfortable giving it to somebody else and reserving Rennie for a different character.
Yeah, because I'm at a point, I already voiced, I actually counted this the other day, and these include roles that you guys haven't heard yet. I voiced about 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot. So at this point, I have to save my voice for characters that are very unique sounding, especially my high range, and the new character that I'll be voicing is a very unique take because of the fact that she's also in that range. So,
Not to mention that, like, your M200 and your HS2000 would have sounded basically the same.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They really would have. So I'm happy I was casted as M200, because I also did audition for HS2000, but
I think I even did say that at the time. That it's like, it sounds a
Yeah.
lot like your M200, and you're getting cast as M200, so...
Yeah. I was like, I think you even gave me the option. You were like, do you want to voice HS? If you want to voice M200, I was
Yeah,
like,
I probably
"No,
did.
I'm voicing M200. Yeah, yeet.
Mhm.
Actually, I think I voiced 10 characters if we're counting my spoilery ones.
Not like, I wouldn't count every single one of them since they're
Okay,
the
fair.
same voice. But I would count them.
Well, they don't have the exact same voice,
I'm
but...
gonna change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
That's
them
true.
each a unique inflection. I'm gonna give one of them a deep southern accent.
Deep
No!
southern accent.
No! That would be beautiful. Actually, maybe. But actually, yeah, if they're all different voices, then it would be counting them as 10.
Because I voice 45, obviously. Rosa, AK, the two Sangvis sisters. I'm not missing anybody, am I?
You're missing Agent.
Agent, of course.
Mhm.
How could I forget? So it's
How did you
11.
forget British Mommy?
I'm sorry. I did her once. I'll do her again. I don't know where I was going with that joke.
Their penis.
Yes.
Just stick it in. I'm sorry.
Just stick it in.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
A lot of places you can put knee guns when they're not.
Oh my god, I'm still very happy that Kriya introduced us to Millen, because Millen does a wonderful.
Oh yeah.
He's wonderful. You guys should hit him up. He's chat. I see you, Millen. Yeah, I'm complimenting you, Millen.
Mhm.
You're really good.
Millen is actually very talented, yes.
Oh, wait, 13, Millen. If you're counting the small roles that I did,
I think he is. He's saying, that's why he said separately, if you count every single role you've ever done, then it would be that many.
Alright.
Dang.
Oh, I almost forgot about that agent disguised as Colt Revolver.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever done.
Yo, okay, thank you for reminding me, because honestly, I can't guarantee this happening, but if ever that could be incorporated in any way in 404 Radio, I would love to try.
Oh wait, was this a stream thing?
It was
from
in the game, in Singularity.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Colt Revolver. You think it's just Colt Revolver, and it actually turns out to be Agent.
Right.
all along.
Oh god, I forgot about that. Oh, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Howdy, y'all. Colt Revolver. I'm just a sweet little southern gal. Nothing to do here. I'm so tiny. I'm so small and weak.
Oh my
and
god, so
defenseless.
cute. You don't want to touch me. Oh, look over
Right.
yonder. That's the villain.
Psych, bitch, I'm actually a tall British woman, and I'm going to kick you to death with my fucking heels.
Oh my. Got the instant switch. Oh, it's like a light
Oh,
switch.
God.
Every time you turn it off, Agent just gets closer to you.
Oh god.
And so she like does the Cabo Don with her legs, like cornering you.
Oh, wait, Sith, can you say in your Agent voice you've eaten your last haw?
You've yeed your last haw.
Well, I'll be damned.
I'll be.
Oh, hold up. Saber Metal Panzer, thank you for the $6.90 that he says 404 Radio is that 70 shows format. A good idea for a funny sort of non-canon episode.
Mm-hmm. We have talked about that too, potentially doing like some kind of April Fool's skit that's not canon, but it does poke fun at like stuff we've wanted to do in 404 Radio. That would be hilarious.
Oh
Like,
yeah, like
and-
the rejected 45 backstory thing.
Right.
That was like way too fucked up and weird.
Oh, that's right. I don't know if we can
AI
actually
making out.
give that away because that might still be too spoilery, but I would love to talk
Yeah.
about that someday. What we
Doesn't
originally
connect.
were gonna do with 45, holy shit.
Oh god,
Yeah.
when you told me that, I was like, oh my god, Corbin,
Mhm.
what are you even smoking?
Hey,
Were you
you know if there's anything I love, it's putting out crazy ideas and seeing how we can make them work.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with SOPMOD Senior.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's funny because I had like the exact opposite reaction to 45 slapping 9. I wanted like 45 to beat the shit out of her.
Oh, God.
I wanted her to. I didn't want her to beat the shit out of her. I should clarify. I just wanted her to punch her like really fucking hard. But you went with the slap. The coward's way
shoot.
out.
Hey, if we had 45 beating the shit out of 9, or like even just punching her in the face, I think that would have went a little too far for the viewers. I think the slap is good enough, especially since 9 slices her own face afterwards. So.
Oh, thank you, Wolfo. That's really nice.
Aww.
But that was sort of like related to like, fuck. What was the idea that we had the Halloween episode? Where it's,
Oh,
like-
it's all like it's a murder mystery.
Oh, I was thinking we're like 416, G11, and the third party member are like at a tavern. It's like a fucking RPG. And
Oh!
storming the castle.
It's 45 dressed up as a furry, or well, scaly technically. She'd be dressed up like a scaly.
God, I just want to see 45 like in an outfit, like just being like, why do I have to wear this? And it's like because it's funny, you know.
It's fun.
It looks so
It's
good on you.
fun.
I already have to do that stupid fucking voice whenever we get a call. This is so humiliating.
What? Like 9 is like, what, sis? You look so great. Look at you. You're so cute.
I am covered in jam. You've slathered jelly all over my body.
You're a beautiful slime girl. Now smile at the camera.
No,
Yeah,
I look ridiculous.
you're beautiful.
No 9, you're beautiful.
Oh, aww.
Yes. G11 just looks at these two. and is
Also,
like,
I like this comment. I have to say this really quick. 45 cracks knuckles. UMP9. Why do I hear boss music?
what? Oh no! Your boss. No. Oh god. If Bar uses a bunny suit, I have no excuses. Oh
Wait a
my
minute.
god.
Cause G11 dressed up as a dinosaur to get the fucking Anime Expo tickets.
A dragon, yes.
Oh, dragon. It was dragon. So like, what if she just like got everybody into a Ponzi scheme? They all had to wear assorted animal uniforms.
Oh my god.
Ooh, Jamaican, I like that idea. 404 radio episode, but it's ad-libbed. Entirely.
Oh, no. I would fuck up so badly.
I would also. I tripped over my own tongue.
I think the only way to make it really funny, or to keep it really funny rather, is if it was slightly edited at least, like so that like the little stutters stay out, you know. Just keep the juicy bits in.
Yeah, like if we basically had a synopsis of what is happening along with the visuals.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you were just told this is the context of the scene. You were saying something of the sort to this character. Go. And then you just like try to come up with the best things of that at the time. But they're gonna get edited anyway, so like the director, in this case, Quartz would take the best ad-lib stuff out of it.
Right. I would say up front that like all of the lines themselves are ad-libbed. It's just they were edited for the highest concentration of funny.
Ooh. Tito's dressing as animals? What is this, Arknights?
We're asking for a 404 real-time dub. Really?
Oh my god.
Listen, 404 cast, we get together and we sit down and we dub Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's do it!
No,
Come on,
Rinny.
I want to voice Amy!
We dub healing chapter, obviously.
Obviously. We've actually had that as an idea for a long
Oh
time.
my god. That would be so fun to do a real-time dub over that.
Honestly.
Oh god.
Yo, G11, take my sauce.
Oh yeah, let me taste all that
Well, you're a dirty little munchkin, aren't you?
Call me that again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
PG-13, kids.
the fuck? When the fuck were we ever TJ13 million?
TJ13?
PG and J. 404 Radiocast dubs a serious episode, but it's a stupid series of stick figure drawings. We've joked about that before, like doing an episode just in MS Paint.
Yeah, like I do all the artwork.
Oh yeah. Nico even drew out a picture of like 416 and UMP9 one night just in MS Paint.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Jared, it would be legal because it's counted as parody.
Yeah.
We'd probably have to put something like over the footage, maybe, I don't know, but otherwise, yeah, it's parody, so technically it's legal.
The following is a non-profit fan-based parody.
Yeah, start it with that. Healing chapter, but UMP9 is reading My Immortal. Oh,
Oh, what's she reading?
My Immortal.
Oh.
Wow, what are we talking about?
Healing UMP9, but wait, healing chapter, but UMP9 is reading My Immortal. That's what the comment is.
Yo, that would be beautiful.
If
would
we
love
all
to
got
see
together and dubbed My Immortal, I would actually be so fucking down for that, but I call Draco.
No, I wanted to.
No.
I want to voice Harry. No, wait, no. I want to voice anytime. What was her name? Oh my.
Ebony, Darkness,
Dementia, right?
Ebony, black hair, that's how I got my name.
Anytime she actually speaks, I would give her the MDR voice.
Oh my goodness.
Plot twist, this is just MDR reading this in a fever dream or a fever state to like AEK.
When she's smoking that sweet Mary Jane with AEK.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. 404 becomes like TFS. I'm okay with that. A side episode of how MDR acquires her probably illegal goods.
It's just My Immortal.
It's just her reading out My Immortal.
Like the commander just.
Oh. A
Yes.
side episode focusing on NTW, but the entire episode is discussing on why TAC 50 maple syrup is the premier condiment for food.
Oh, I know what that's referencing. See, NTW's Mod 3 story, a pivotal part of it is related to TAC and her maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. I've heard people make fun of it before.
Ugh.
I'm spreading my sickness over the web.
Oh no!
Yo, what did I miss?
Oh, you left?
I had to BRB real quick.
I didn't even know you left.
No, you're good.
I was
Oh,
just
no, wait.
explaining what the maple syrup was relating to with NTW.
Oh, I know about why TAC has the maple syrup thing.
No. NTW's Mod 3 story, there's a very pivotal part that relates to TAC's maple syrup.
That's adorable, and I want to read it.
Well, I'll find out soon because my whole goal has been to get her to Mod 3 with this event.
I'm trying to get subs.
Because I just need the triangles, the pyramids. That's what they are. I just need more of them.
Me too.
In fact, hold on. What? How long is this stream going? Wow, we've only just hit 2 hours. Cool.
Oh yeah. That's been
Yeah.
flying by.
What up, my homies? It's 7:51.
Hold on. Before we do Darkest Desire, which I think is the end of the first part of the entire event, I am going to get my NTW as high as I can because I absolutely have I have all the materials in very high quantities. I just need to know how many triangles I need left. So
You'll get your NTW to Mod 3 before meeting.
yes, I will.
You'll get your NTW to Mod 3 before I get my fucking SOPMOD to Mod 3. She's almost there. She's at Mod 2 right now.
Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why I left 45 at Mod 1, I was told absolutely get UMP45 to Mod 1 at the very least because of the buffs she gets. Everything else is just kind of peripheral. It's ancillary or whatever word you want to use.
Do that.
It's supplementary. Yeah, it's not even necessary to make her really, really good. She's already really, really good. She just gets slightly better. But same thing with like SOPMOD Mod 3, or SOPMOD 3, I guess I would call her. NTW is the one who gets like a big boost from her Mod 3, so. Alright, so we're gonna do one. Okay, I need one more triangle to get her to Mod 2. Alright. I'm just sitting on those triangles. I have well over 600 cores. And plenty of memory fragments. That's not a problem.
Oh, I'm not missing the triangles. I'm missing those memory fragments. Whoopsie.
Okay, there we go.
NCW just becomes a Death Star.
Yeah, she does. It's gonna be sick. Oh, yes! How many do you get? You get 2! 2 for completing. Yeah, so we can get her to Mod 2. Confirm start.
Wait, isn't Ewis the Death Star? Ewis is and will always be. Fuck you, NTW. I'm kidding, I like it.
What? NTW is great.
No,
I mean,
Ewis
I
is
love
bad.
Ewis, don't get me wrong, but NTW,
Ewis
though.
is waifu. Look at her. Look at her in all her justice-filled glory.
But NTW is pink.
But Ewis is silver. It's no use.
Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this with the photograph. So, one last thing about the photograph is now it should make sense why in the side episode, or even in the very first episode, why, like, AA-12 seems attached to 416. Why Vector is kind of mean to her about her attachment in the first place. As well as why NTW says, I believed in you. I believed in you the most when I heard, to 416. Is because they all know each other, and they're, like, basically friends without actually, like, being able to be friends anymore. So in other words, that meme where 416 doesn't have any friends, yeah, I knew about that fucking meme. And I was like, you know what? I'ma put it that she just doesn't have friends now, but she definitely did have friends. Even if she still had a stick up her ass back then.
Woo!
So, yeah, these people, they regret what happened. And they look back and they're like, we miss you, 416.
Also, we cannot confirm nor deny that Banana will show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another thing we cannot confirm or deny if she's going to show up, because that's still very loosely in the planning stage.
I
So.
pray that Banana comes. We have a plan for Banana, and I think it's still a beautiful one. I cannot say what it is, but it is beautiful and graceful.
Alright, let's go. Final map of part 1, as far as I'm aware. It's 2 spots. 2 combats, 2 dummies. Okay. So one there.
M4 being looted. I don't know if that would happen.
Oh, I can put an HOC. Neat. Choose Echelon, though. It's not recommended for the HOC, so I'm just gonna use this.
Oh, Sithu, you liked my tweet about the stream.
I just noticed.
By the way, everybody, Sith now has a Twitter account. Follow him at SithGem.
You should follow.
He already has well over 100 followers. He needs more.
Give him more.
I told him it was only a matter of time before he gets 1,000. You are incredibly charming and likable, Sith. I absolutely think you could reach 1,000.
Well, I think
There he is. Give him the follow.
You're also just a great voice actor, so
Oh, thank you.
you've got merit. Mm-hmm.
I want to eat Sith.
Don't.
doesn't?
Not edible.
Will he call me a dork in 45's voice if I do?
I will. I will. I will. I will do anything for recognition.
Can we get a celebratory roast at 1,000 subs? I absolutely think Sis would probably do something if he reached 1,000.
I mean, like, I kind of blew all my good ones in that video, but...
You could do AEK ones, or Agent.
Oh, that's true. I can. I think that is the key. Aww. Oh, this is
Oh, now he's dying. Oh no.
Good.
so much praise.
I wonder if Quartz will see what I just tweeted.
What? That you want to eat me, literally?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
General Kenobi.
General Kenobi, you're a bold one.
Quartzy, I will consume you. Eventually.
Not if I consume you first.
Not if I eat you first, bitch.
You can try.
Thank you all for your kind words and following.
No. Pat, 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 pat.
Oh my god, he's dying.
Ooh, finally a 3-star.
You're making me sick with love.
No.
Quartz probably tastes like rainbows and love.
Aww,
Sabu!
Sabu!
Oh no, I'm not into boar. I
Allegedly.
just think. Hey, no! Listen, I'm into eating fruit gushers, and that just happens to be quartz.
Yeah, if you get into Quartz, it would be very painful because he's a rock.
No.
It would he'd break your teeth. But if you could somehow drill a hole into Quartz, then his blood
Oh
would taste like fruit
my.
gushers.
That's true.
I wouldn't be using that hole for that purpose, though.
Oh.
You just want to drink my juices, isn't that right?
Oh yeah.
No, Sif, I don't know if you saw this post.
Ooh, show me.
I sent it to you on Twitter. Now I
Oh
can
yeah,
say
of course I saw.
I love
69,000 like on that.
I love Taco so much.
Same.
They're such
You're my favorite.
You know, if we weren't talking so much, this basically would be like a speed run of Continuum Turbulence.
Oh my god, technically.
Oh yeah, you've had like no issue at all.
Nope.
blowing
I
this
am
fish
almost
apart.
done the entire first chapter, and I have had no issue within the past 2 hours. Yeah. Ooh, Ian, thank you for the $1.99 donation. Smorgasbord of quartz-themed food and drink. That actually sounds pretty yummy.
Very.
Rennie thinks I taste like a fruit gusher. I tell her I wish.
Quincy probably tastes like love and wholesomeness.
Rennie!
Plus, they can always inject
That's how
fruit
you
gushers
make
into
me
your
feel.
bloodstream.
That's true. I could go for some fruit gushers right now.
Quartz gushers.
Oh yeah, Alex, I have no doubt that the event will get much harder. It's just that for now, it's been a cakewalk. God, I could go for some cake right now. I'm just really hungry.
Me too. I had like soup in the microwave, and
I think after we finish this map, it's going to be around a good time to end the stream anyway, because it'll be just after 2 hours. The whole first chapter will be done, and I wasn't planning on finishing this all in one night, because obviously there's no point in doing that.
Fruit salad.
yummy,
Yummy.
fruit salad.
I got that stuck in my head. God damn.
Also, I really take a lot of joy in noticing that Aki and Ani are doing all the work with their little echelons. This is actually really adorable, I'm not gonna lie. This is like the best stream ever.
It would be adorable, wouldn't it? You know, to have them, both of them.
Oh yeah, it would be adorable,
Oh, yeah,
especially if you
It's
had
so fucking cute to have Aki on your team. be so cool and epic, and I would love that.
Wow,
So
Sith, you almost
bad.
sound a little peeved, a little passive aggressive
You
there.
got 4 AN-94s!
And 4 AK-12s.
You got both of them so many times. You didn't even need the other 3 for either of them.
In fact, the best part is I keep them all. I don't even use them for cores.
I just want them so. I want Aki so badly. I love her so much.
Also, Saber Metal Panzer, thank you for the $6.90 donation. Quartz Gushers. Basically kind of similar to Fruit Gushers, but with rock candy on the outside. Like, rock candy that would have jelly-like filling. Ooh, don't make me drool. And Strike Raptor, thank you for the $10 donation. Here's to still not having AN-94, despite me trying every recipe, crying
I know what
emoji.
you're feeling.
Don't worry, guys. We'll get the core eventually, and then I will finally have Ewis because I haven't gotten her at fucking all.
But Rennie, Ewis doesn't exist, except for this Ewis right over here. That one definitely
You
exists.
shut your whore mouth.
You have everyone that we don't.
Uh-huh.
Except for AA-12.
Yeah, except for AA-12, and I'm very
You
pissed.
fucking suffer. I have AA-12. I've gotten her thrice.
I want her so bad.
You know, you never fucking get her now, you ass.
Not even for completionist purposes. I just, to this day, I don't regret getting Sat 8 off of my true core mask way back during the anniversary, but honestly, what I do regret is being able to build her again afterward. So now I have 2 Sat 8s. Good thing I never got rid of the second one. Oh, yeah.
I wish to devour you eventually.
Oh wait, can you get her from the crates in this event?
Yes, you can get her from the crates.
Oh. What's up, Ez? Welcome.
Hi, Ezu. I quite so I sent Ezu a mod.
Oh, Ez absolutely has to be a mod because Ez is a very cool dude.
I pray for the day we get to use a lot of the characters people made
Oh yeah.
in the competition.
Because yeah, people really were very imaginative for the Sanguis contest. I would love to make another contest. It went well. It went super duper well. Sorry, I had a little something in my throat. That's why I couldn't spit that out.
I just want Sentinel to appear at some point.
Yo, yeah, Rennie and I agreed, and then our whole group of like our council of elders, basically, we all agreed that we really like Sentinel.
Yeah, we were looking at him and we were like, yo, this boy. Like the boy.
Literally the only reason he did not win or get runner-up and just got honorary mention was simply because Seeker was like, as soon as we saw Seeker, we're like, boy. And Surgeon was fantastic. Jean Trotta put everything he had in that design, so I was just like, I can't deny the man. Surgeon was great.
Surgeon was so fucking lovely.
But Sentinel was definitely in our hearts, like, the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Definitely deserved
Can we
an
tell
honorary
them
mention.
the harrowing tale of Seeker?
Oh,
Wait, Seeker?
she
Yeah.
just flew in.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant somebody else. But yeah, Seeker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're free to talk about that now.
Alright, so the artist for Seeker, Malgao, apparently submitted Seeker's design like hours before the competition was set to close and was like, I hope I win hope you like this, lol. I'm not really expecting to win, poggers.
He also
And
said,
then-
like, I hope I'm not too late.
Yeah.
Too late. And he said poggers.
I love that he put poggers in there.
Yeah, no joke. He came in at, like, the last second. He'd been, like, mulling over this for, like, weeks.
Like Jesus fucking Christ.
Seeker just flew in at the last minute, and we were just like, wow, you just made this whole contest easy for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were all like, we narrowed it down to like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
And like we were fighting viciously over the honorable mentions, and then we got to
Mhm.
Seeker and we were like,
Yeah.
yeah, that one wins.
Pretty much. They were
winning. We're like nothing. Like Seeker instantly swooped in and was like, "I'm winning." And
It was like straight up. I think I even brought up like Seeker. I was like, so let's just get this off the table. What do we think about Seeker? And literally unanimously, everybody was like, what's there even to say? Seeker wins. Like,
Yeah.
do we even need to talk about this?
It's very clear, like, from what he sent us, that he worked really hard on, like, that design.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like literally something he just came up with at the last minute. He even came into our server and talked about Seeker's design, and he even threw like concepts at us, like showing us the different steps he went through to create the design, the stuff he threw out before he made this design.
Honestly, he had a very well formatted document. He had a very well formatted like process, and a lot of that stuff wasn't even too necessary. It was mostly like, is your design fucking good though? Like the very last thing. Like, does it make sense? Is it constructive? And all such. And it was actually really fucking good. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Seeker scares me. And then when we got down to like honestly, if Seeker hadn't come in, I think Surgeon would have won.
And I don't want it to come across like, oh, Seeker was just so much better than everybody else. No. It was just more like, we had a very specific goal in mind with this contest, and Seeker just hit everything we wanted that we didn't even know we wanted until we saw it. We were like, yo, this design is literally like perfection for what we need it for.
The
you know?
concept of the flying unit also is really fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was just like, whoa, holy fuck, he did this very well.
Because the thing is, we went into this contest not like, oh, well, you know, maybe your design will show up in the show. No, we went in like, we want a Sangvis for this episode and for maybe even future episodes to show up. We need them for this purpose now, but we want them to be unique enough that they can stand up later and do stuff as well. That was what we went in with. We knew we were gonna have a winner rise up and be part of the show. We knew exactly where to put them in. It was just a matter of who was gonna fit that. And Seeker fit that to a T.
Oh yeah.
So
There were also a lot, even without the honorable mention, like outside of that were really fucking good.
oh yeah, that's because it's not even to say that like Seeker was the only good design. No, absolutely not. That's why we even were able to narrow it to like 10 or 12 in the first place. That's just how many good ones there were.
And so, if I had to give one thing out for a lot of the designs, one of the main issues we found was that people weren't sticking to the concept of it needs to be defensive. They kind of pulled it with the fighting style, but they weren't pulling it off with the design, and thus they ended up looking more offensive.
Now, defensive was allowed to mean different things. That's why I kept it vague on purpose. Like, it could be maybe they're cowardly, or maybe they are literally defensive, like they have big shields, or maybe they have some kind of evasive maneuver that, like, in the case of, like, Flight, that's a perfect example of that. Like, they're just hard to hit with, like, the conventional
Surgeon.
weapons of the T-Dolls. Or even, like, Surgeon. Surgeon even worked because she wasn't even a fighter. Like, if she absolutely had to, she could, but she would always try to, like, leave the fighting, you know? And we're like, you know what? It's loosey-goosey, but it still technically works. So... But yeah, there were a lot of designs that didn't even make that 10 or 12. That were just, the big thing was they were just too offensive. They were clearly based around dealing lots of damage, and that wasn't the point. You know, they could deal damage, and maybe even a lot of it, but that wasn't supposed to be the focus. The focus we were looking for was, how would they block or evade or whatever else? Like, how would they deal with circumstances in a more unconventional manner compared to just throwing explosives at the target until they die, you know?
This is also genuinely advice to anyone that was in the contest. This is something you probably should not do that much. Do not compare your character to an existing character so heavily.
Yes.
Because at that point, anybody is gonna just think, then why don't I just use that character instead?
Right. There were also plenty of entries where we saw that actively written in the context for the character, because oftentimes most of the entries gave us additional text as to what their character was about and everything. And so there were, I wouldn't say like obviously like everybody did that. No, definitely not. But there were quite a few that actively compared their character to others that already existed in this universe, and we're like, we are not looking for a direct comparison to anyone. We are looking for an original Sangvis. You know, they can be maybe like have similar attributes, but don't go literally comparing them to this other character. So
What was another thing? My brain is trying to think.
because then the problem is, we would just ask the question, why don't we just use that character? Why don't we just use, like, all those, like, say, like, Geiger or Dreamer or...
A lot of people were using Dreamer as an example.
Yeah, like, all these other characters, why don't we just use that instead? So, like, even, like, the honorary mentions, we looked at those and we're like, these definitely don't necessarily feel like any of the other Sangvis ringleaders that we've met.
Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to use them as an example and as, like, I'm trying to, like, word, or as, like, reference for their design. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but when you're designing something, I've learned this rule. You need to change 13 things about it at the very least so it doesn't look the same. Like, one of the greatest examples of this was Aurora. If I'm pronouncing that right. One of the entries, which was very, very fucking pretty. She was one of my favorites. The only problem was really, at the end of the day, I don't know if is it okay for me to openly say, like...
Here, I'll say it, because I said it to the artist since they asked, very politely. Very nice artist, by the way. Very nice person. And their art is excellent. We even told them the main reason we left it out was simply because it was too standard, really, for what you'd expect from Sangvis. So while it was gorgeous art, and this person was extremely polite and very nice, and very humble too, it was simply, we weren't looking for a standard Sangvis ringleader, we were looking for something very unique. And that was the thing that really held them. In fact, the only thing that really ultimately held them back.
Their gun design was really good too. Like they honestly, they did a really wonderful job designing her. And that's why I was like, a lot of us were really sad when we were like deciding the honorable mentions. We were like, fuck, damn, we want to put her in here, but she had a lot of competition.
I mentioned this when we were judging
should have refilled.
designs.
Shoot.
And that's that Aurora looks like a doll that would actually be in the game.
Yeah.
That is true.
Like,
Yeah.
The physical design of Aurora was very good. The art was incredible, but it's just her personality.
Yeah.
Though in a way, while I don't want to say it in like a negative way, and that's not what I'm meaning here, like with this any kind of connotation that could be derived from this. In a way, we did look at it and we were like, it's good that we're judging Aurora like this, the character Aurora like this, because then we know we really aren't just looking at this based on the sheer artwork. You know, it really does, the design really does come into play, and I was really proud of our group for looking at it like that. So.
Because the artwork was like so fucking pretty. They did a really fun, like, Jesus Christ, the way they painted her hair, I was like, ugh. And her boobs.
Oh yeah.
I did draw myself on her boobs eventually, with permission from the artist. They were like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, yes, boobies. Hey, you guys want to compliment Ezu with Sentinel and how much he was like one of the best designs we got for the guys? Because we got a few guys and he was like, not to say like the other ones were bad. I think the main problem for advice for when you guys are designing dudes, if they look too much like they would be the main character to a Persona game, you might want to get away from that. Because that was a problem with a lot of them, where they had the very standard protagonist hair, the very like standard, I'm very cool but mean, but I'm also a little maybe nice type deal going on. Like they kind of were radiating pro tag energy. And while Sentinel did have a little bit of that going on at the first place, reading more into him and his like personality and the way his abilities work, he's such a charismatic fucker. I love him. I like legit. I was like, holy fuck, his personality is one of the best that I have read, and it was so endearing. And
Oh, we
worked
talking about how
really
endearing
well.
Sentinel is?
Yes.
Yo, Sentinel's personality sold
Oh
me on
my
that
God.
character. The
It
little
makes
doodles that Ez put in there too were hysterical. I loved them.
I still love the drawing that Ezu made of him flying away with the little robot.
Yes,
thing.
that was my
They had
favorite. Oh my
photos.
god. It's adorable.
So,
I
it's
did
so
also like the doodle of how he trapped like 404 around his what do you want to call them? His little pods. Thought that was really cute.
They say fuck. I was so in love with Sentinel, even when I first saw him. I was like, yo, because there's some things about his design, I'll admit, I'm like, it's not very conventional for saying this, but when you think about the possibilities with him, and the overall design of him, and along with the personality, and even fitting into the criteria that we listed, we were like, yo, he's fucking great. Like, I think one of the other male ones was also very good because they took a more like original aspect and did incorporate some of the 404 radio stuff in there. I think my one only gripe was that it was too heavily incorporating stuff from 404 radio, which kind of like I would want to advise that yes, like if we have another contest and you want to incorporate some things that like concepts that original things we have put into 404 radio, do not let that mask the entire character, because at that point when we're saying, hey, we're looking for an original character design to use for the show, basic personality and such, and like what they overall look like, when you're giving us like this story and such, it's really gonna be hard to want to have them then, because of the fact that thing you wrote now is very stuck to the character. It's like holding on to them, unfortunately. But yeah, that's my... Hold up, let me put my leg up on my table. Yeah, that's my sick advice. With Rinny, thanks for coming to my TED Talk about how much I want to smooch Sentinel. So hot! And he's so charismatic! I
How's it
love
going?
watching him Fortnite dance!
Yeah.
When he Fortnite danced, and I saw that I was holding back my laughter in class, I was just like, I was like, ugh.
It was hysterical.
I like.
Ez has such a
much
great
Fortnite
sense of
dance.
humor. I
Yes,
love it.
he does. I showed it to my friend, and he just fucking died. Oh my god. Listen, I honestly, there's the point in time where I've unironically told Quartz I want to have a TED Talk about how much I like Diabolic Lovers on stream at one point. Like if you've ever searched up like the lectures on Kingdom Hearts, the 101 lectures.
Yeah.
The Guilty Gear one, and they also know they did a Sonichi one. Like those, I would love to host one about Diabolic Lovers or just design, and I would just talk about how much I like the things and like the history of it. But I'd have to do a lot of research into it. It would take a lot of time. God. I also just really like talking about design. It's one of my favorite things. It's just hard concept. That's how I probably work. Ooh, you know another one that was really fucking good. I'm gonna hit you guys with some tasty.
Yo, so
All the
real
list.
quick, going back to the gameplay. So one thing you might have noticed is that I'm kind of off the rails here because I realized I didn't resupply Aki, so I can't do this in 5 turns and get the S. But on the bright side, who wants to see Ewis take out a tank?
Yay!
Me.
I wanna see it.
Hold up, I actually want to go look back at the entry so I make sure they back. Design equals good. What are you talking about, Matt? Monster video? I'm talking about Best Guy Ever's video on Kingdom Hearts lore, along with like oh my god, what was his name again? Ben Saint and his
Fine. They're
collection.
fine. They're fine. They're fine.
They're fine. Look at them go.
Look at them go. They're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine. Ewis will be the weapon to survive here. Oh my god, she fucking killed it!
Boom. Got him.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You know what? I'm just gonna take in my
Ewis is a
M200
fucking
spot.
animal. That's what she is.
I could probably just take in my M200 spot and we win. I would hope.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Oh wait, did somebody donate earlier?
I think I got them. Let me just double check.
Ian Payad? I'm sorry. I can't
Oh,
pronounce
no, I didn't. Okay. Ian, thank you for the $1.99 donation. Can we have art of Rinny as a member of Sangvis?
Rinny as a member of Sangvis would look so nice. You as in
Turn on your dark side, Rinny.
God.
I'm good.
Ro- Join the dark side with me, Rinny. We can be Sangvis agents together. Actually, you voice Ouroboros. You're actually.
Oh, I do voice Ouroboros. Oh god. Listen, I designed myself as a Sangvis as long as Ezu lets me take Sentinel.
Sexually.
Sexually, indeed. I jest about it, but I do want to preference that I did not advocate for him just because I think he's cute. I did honestly, like, go into it.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's the thing, is
Oh, God,
that,
yeah, same.
like, there were, like, 4 or 5 of us there.
It was 5
So
of us.
Rinny's opinion alone on something wouldn't have been enough to carry a
Yeah.
character to get the honorable mentions or better.
Yeah, because there was even another character.
And trust me, we're not easy on Rinny just because she's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to stuff that actually affects the show.
Yeah. Like there was one of the characters that I actually did want to like be first place originally before Seeker swooped in, and it was between her and Surgeon at the time for who was gonna get first place. But we even at that point we were all agreeing like yeah probably not.
I guess that's it.
Look, as you gave me permission to fuck Sentinel, I'm doing it, guys. Where's my
Alright.
drawing tablet?
Godspeed.
Wait, I'm not 18 yet. Damn it.
Robot.
That's true. I can't draw porn. Saying Miss Rinny using a fruit roll-up launcher and a lunchable, or a fruit roll-up whip and a lunchable launcher. Namtab, your comedy just exudes big dick energy, and it is beautiful.
How would the Naito sound? We already have something in mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna sound really rad.
Yeah.
Just know that.
Who would voice them? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh my,
I don't know.
somebody's using my row as their icon.
Oh.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Wait,
That
where?
row face is one of my favorites. They said FBI open up. They're using the row whenever she's sweating nervously and doing the finger gun. I love that photo. I loved painting it. All the knights are voiced by Quartz. That'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I've heard that before. Like y'all have been like, "Oh, yo, have voice," or sorry, not voice. Have Quartz voice this really, high-pitched character, or like this character that's gonna be around forever. It's like, guys, you know I wouldn't do that.
It'd
I
be
mean,
un-
your 9 is good.
I already feel self-conscious enough with my own voice.
Oh,
but you have such a
baby.
very, very nice voice. You should.
Well, self-conscious probably isn't the best word because it's like, I mean, I hear myself so much that I'm just accustomed to it. Also, wow, hey guys, you want to see the easiest operation in the world?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Give it to me.
Oh my god.
Done.
What the fuck?
What is this?
Fuck was that?
Finished. Why does
That
this
was
even
perfect
here?
game design, Micah. Perfect. perfect game design.
10 out of 10 would do again.
I found it! I found the Sentinel Fortnite dance! I must share this with the audience.
And that is all of Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is now complete. Officially. So let's just take care of some little stuff, and that'll be the end of the stream. Now I got CX4 Storm.
Wowee!
Wear your pants!
Where are you fucking pants?
Or a mile of pants. What?
Honestly, I'm just glad she has a voice.
I can't stop looking at it. I like how
Oh, right. I have to level NTW first. That'll be easy.
Oh my god. I make a secret of the Fortnite dance meme eventually. No, I'd actually fucking die. Oh god.
NTW, Dunya.
Oh,
mean,
Jesus.
Oh, God.
That was not phone paw. That was actually the game glitched out and died.
Oh my.
1 second. Let me see if I can get back in. Sorry, hold on. Just gotta...
Oh, you have Chen as your background now.
Yup. That's Nico's Chen.
The game does this now. Great.
And
It's always done
stream.
this.
You don't mind if I crash this little part?
No, it's good.
He's making a reference, Rennie.
Am
I
I?
don't get it.
Am I really though?
Get it, Rennie? Don't mind if I crash this little party, as in, like, the game crashes.
That was not intentional. That was not intentional. That is not what I was saying. Excuse the fuck out of you.
I want to die now.
Hello everyone. Your friendly neighborhood egoist here. What are you doing?
Funny, the game
I need
crashed,
to cross.
like, right before I was about to finish the stream. I just wanted to promote NTW, that was all I was gonna do. I'm still gonna do it!
Do it.
The mad lad go.
Of course. Every time.
I look at Sentinel and what do I see?
G41 still has one of my best, sorry, not one of my best, although it is one of the best, but one of my favorite live 2Ds in the entire game. It's great. It's beautiful. I love it. She's great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wrong room. Dorm number 3! Boop, boop.
Press F to pay
Game
respects.
The game couldn't handle Fortnite Sentinel and committed Arctic Warfare. FNC team.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, look at her! Look, you're sitting with her!
Aww.
Aww, we're having a little spicy little chat. Hey, NTW, are you looking forward to getting upgraded? I know you are. Pat, 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 pat. Here, have some goodies. Oh, she's so happy!
Look at her.
She's like, what
Here
just
we see
happened?
a wild
Why do I
entity
feel
in its
stronger?
natural habitat.
Oh, look, the dog. The dog is coming.
She doesn't know what to say. She's flabbergasted. She's like,
The
what do
dog
I say
wants-
to the commander? What do I say to the commander? I don't know what to say to the commander.
That's
Why give
adorable.
this to me?
Is this some kind of romantic gesture? I don't understand.
Is
I guess
this
I'll
a
just
joke?
leave. I feel awkward now.
Sam tab. All I see there is Court shoving combat reports down her throat. While she
Yo, please draw that. Please,
That's
I
like a-
beg you.
You know that magic trick where, you know, you have like all those different colored
She doesn't know what to say because she can't say a thing.
and they all like just come out the mouth. It's the opposite but with combat reports. Fucking
Oh
deep
my
throat.
god.
I have that stuck in my head now, guys.
Hey.
TW some chunky milk.
I'm just
Yes. Please. And I ain't no Irish dragon, but I'll try my best.
Aww.
Don't fucking cook Shark Attack. Leave her alone. Leave
And
Architect.
The sentinel people dance energy is just too strong. As I blame you for this. What have you done? What have you created? God.
Whoa!
You better mod that girl, I swear to God. I will
All thanks to
steal you.
NTW. Thank you, NTW. This is why I love you.
This is a sponsored ad by NTW. Now you can get Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, fuck's sake.
NTW in Repair Bay.
For
Don't
only
ask.
$9.99.
You saw the
paper.
fucking combat reports back up as soon as
Oh.
you
For this monthly somehow.
I'm just sitting there smiling as I slowly dip the floppy disk into her mouth out of a pile of them in my arms, one at a time. I'm just
There's
sifting
a bunch of fucking shock tape.
floppy disks through her teeth. And I just the palm of my hand sits next to her lips, forcing it into her mouth so that it goes down her throat each time.
It starts out
There's like a
super
bunch of shock teeth,
cute,
and you put a
like,
floppy disk
you
between
do
each
them
one.
at a time, and then
And then she
eventually
just, like,
go into
chomps
a
it, they'll just, like,
full-on
get
slow
crushed to
and
pieces.
steady destruction.
Like, like that one Titan that causes Armin to scream his head off.
Oh God.
Yes, yeah, I'll do that.
Quartz, you getting me aroused? What, because floppies are sexy? I know it. Now NTW knows it.
Floppy things tend to be sexy.
Yeah, he
Nah,
wants
I
to turn
think
the
it's when
software
they're
into
stiff.
hardware, if you know what I mean.
Don't you mean erect, Rinny?
Correct. Either works for me.
You know when you
Erect
insert them
corpse.
into the reader?
What?
Okay, so this is about the time where I end the stream. I'm gonna end you guys on a note that will be legendary. Okay, are you ready?
Ooh, go, go, go.
Buddy's Reggie.
Wait. No, it's in my way! No, it's in my way! Get out of my way! Eh.
Magic about.
This!
Wait.
Oh no.
It's
What's
a
that?
second.
Give it a
The
second.
I saw something. What the f?
Oh.
Yada yada does it. Alright, bye everybody! We'll be back tomorrow! Probably.
Oh,